Some folks say that grown-up men are still just little boys, that really the only difference is the price of our toys. We go for macho symbols like guns and running shoes, pickup trucks, hunting ducks, and power tools, power tools.
Good morning, Indianapolis, Central Indiana, and all ships at sea. It's the Home and Garden Show. We're coming to you from the Suburban Indy Home and Outdoor Living Show up at Grand Park. Is this a neat place or what?
This is really cool. It's quiet for now.
It is.
But soon to be popping.
Soon to be popping. We are brought to you by the Michaelis Corporation. Water storms, fire and wet basements, life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. You can always find them at 844-FIX-INDY. I did hear that another car went through a home on 42nd Street. That didn't sound very good, but I bet Michaelis is ready to give him a hand. Hey, joining me, my name's Denny Smith. Pat's on vacation today. Allison Lemons is here. Hey, Allison.
Hello, hello.
And
good morning.
And the famous Jack Phipps from Allisonville Home and Garden.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, good to have you back.
Happy
buddy.
to be here.
Yeah, and I'm going to need you for In the Weeds. Everybody's asking, how do we get the gardens going? How do we get things going? So, did you come prepared?
It's time. I did.
Attaboy.
I do want to let everyone know, too, we are off at noon because of IU.
Oh, yeah.
So,
boy, a lot going on down in Bloomington.
Holy cow.
It's a big weekend all around.
You know, that's about as...
I think there's another game going on this weekend.
We'll have to ask JMV about that because those type of separations are tough. Is that are we allowed to say Super Bowl?
I think technically we have to call it the big game, but I don't.
Big game.
Why in the world would they do that?
It doesn't make sense to me because
you think if anything that it's just promoting again.
But I guess they realize they're so big that they don't need promotion, and so that people are making money off of them now.
They're too big for their britches, and you all know
That's really
that.
what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, we do have the phone screener up. I'm not sure we're going to be able to get a whole lot of calls in. We've got some great interviews for you today.
You do? You have some fun ones.
You know, Ryan Marshall's going to come and tell the story of this Suburban Indy group. They do 3 shows a year, Allison. They started off on a shoestring. This is the biggest show in Hamilton and Madison counties. It's just huge. There's 250 booths where we are.
I was going to say, it seems bigger from even last year.
Yeah, a lot
bigger. They went out to the sides. They're getting into
That's great.
Pretty soon they're going to take over the soccer practice fields. We are at Grand Park. It's the Event Center, which is the big building on the north side of the area. Terry Lynn's
she's scouting all the
looking for
aisles.
the freebies.
She's
before we get started.
She's rubbernecking is what she's doing. Hey, and I want to say happy 40th anniversary to the Hamilton County Master Gardener. I'm wearing their shirt today.
Yes, the Master Gardener shirt.
40 years they have been together. They've got a big celebration coming up in Tipton, I think. But what a great organization. If you've ever wanted to get into the Master Gardener Association, just go to the Purdue Master Gardener website. You'll be able to find the Hamilton County group if you want to do Marion County or Johnson County. But this is just a wonderful program. You can learn a little bit more. Not everybody has a Jack Phipps sitting beside him to ask him questions.
I'm a little spoiled.
Denny, how long have you been a Master Gardener?
4 or 5 years. I really can't remember. But
how long does it take to go through the program?
It took 14 or 16 weeks, and it was every Tuesday, I think. We had to go remotely. Now they can do it, or we had to go directly in person. Now you can do it remotely, and it's a no-brainer. I mean, the Zoom meeting capabilities of what they can do, and it's really pretty cool.
Do you still get to go in person to look at like the gardens, the little?
You can do that anytime. You really could do that.
When I did it, it was fun to walk through with the teacher and hear.
You're a Master Gardener too.
I started the course. I didn't complete the course.
He's a dropout.
I am Master Gardener dropout.
You're doing fine.
I think you're doing okay. Yeah.
You could probably teach the course. The nice thing about the Master Gardener group is they teach about chemicals. They teach about all the things that you really think you just go to the store, buy something, throw the poison on. It's so much more involved than that.
A good fundamental kind of foundation for everything.
I enjoyed Master Gardeners because of the insects. There were so many insect pests that, like aphids. Aphids are, as soon as the temperatures come up, the aphids start going after it.
Oh, they do.
And I never knew their life cycle. So
yes, and I remember because you were very obsessed with ants for a little bit.
I was. Remember we did the ant interview?
Yes.
You remember this too?
I was a little obsessed too.
Yeah.
Hey, in full disclosure, I went back to college, and I am now taking a course on digital marketing. And as in the second week,
You just can't be stopped.
I can't. It's boredom. But here's the thing: they insist that you use artificial intelligence
Oh, sure.
for so much. I'd never used it before. So ChatGPT and me are buddies now.
Wow.
And I went down the rabbit hole with ChatGPT yesterday. It is scary. It is impressive. But this artificial intelligence stuff, and you've seen what Hammer has done with videos.
Unfortunately,
you
yes.
have been the victim of that, dear one.
Yes,
But
unfortunately.
I'm not getting into that. I'm just doing the deep research. And
We've heard Ethan's AI music.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So AI is used for good and bad.
It
And
is.
I've seen both.
Not all good.
I was talking to my mom about
But
it.
it is amazing.
Mom's going to be 95 years old next month. And I was telling her about it, and she goes, Denny, it's so far over my head that I'm underground.
Oh.
I thought that was
She
a
just
great
doesn't
line.
even wanna know.
That was a great line,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm kind of with her a little bit. AI can be used really well, and I'm excited to see what it's going to do, but I just hope we use it in the right ways.
You know what? You can use it in the Master Gardener program, in gardening and everything. All you would have to do is you literally write this out. I'm starting a backyard garden. I live in central Indiana, and I'm concerned with what would be the easiest thing to start with. What do you suggest? And so they'll pop out all these things. You can do peppers, you can do tomatoes. Then you say, well, I'm really not big on peppers because I don't like them. Can you give me some different varieties? And you're just talking to this expert
Yeah.
that's burping this stuff out
I think
like it's
AI is
nothing.
really cool, but you have to know what you want to ask.
You have to be
have
very
to know,
specific.
Yeah, how to use it, or it can be almost overwhelming over your head.
Yeah.
I've been working with this mining company, and I was putting together something for that, and some of it was wrong. So you have to filter it. You can't take it as gospel. You really have to go through it and say, "Nah, you're wrong on this AI." What do you call AI? I don't even.
Artificial intelligence.
I don't know. I know
It's
that's
AI.
it. But when I was communicating to him, I didn't give him a name.
You should have asked, what's your name?
Yeah, I think I'll do that next time. But anyway, I said,
Curious
no,
what
that's
they'd
not
say.
true about underground mining. I think you need to research this in a different way. Look instead of strip mine, and they came back and they had, but they're not always right, is what I'm saying.
Right. I mean, yeah, you can't just rely on it. My sister is a high school English teacher, and she said the kids are using ChatGPT left and right, and she says it's very obvious when they use it to write their own essays.
I remember when we in high school had the plagiarism checkers.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was my son. My son was an English teacher too for 1 year, and he said plagiarism is crazy.
But that was because somebody would try to copy and paste an entire letter or paper.
a
not-
Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Are you guys talking about
AI.
AI?
Yeah.
I did an interview that'll air tomorrow from Scholarship Owl, and they're the one. They're scholarship people, and we're talking about the use of AI with future college students using it for their essays.
Yeah.
And they said, well, anyway, you'll hear it.
That'd
It's
be good.
interesting.
That's
You'll hear
tomorrow
it.
from 11 to 1 on
Yeah.
93 WIBC. That's the voice of Terry Lynn Stacy. Hey, Terry.
Hey, what's going on?
did
Well,
you do a
joining
little
us.
crowd check
Yes,
and
I
everything?
did.
Show check?
So many of these guys are at the home show, and we become friends. And so we went to
course you
see.
have.
We become. But then I also always grab all the free stuff before the show's open.
That is exactly what Jack and I were talking about.
This is a
before we
big
did.
one.
Well, it's a
This
combination
That is
of
a
very
big
cool.
one.
it's
And
a
what is-
combination of sugar and school items. I see what
Yeah.
you have there.
So what is
That's right.
this first item, Terry?
This is your. It's not a yard. Is this a yardstick? This is not a
That's a
yardstick.
half
this
a
is
meter.
a half a meter.
Yeah.
This is a. It could be a paint
can't
stick.
find
It could
those
be all kinds
anymore.
of stuff. But it's the one thing people ask me about at the home show.
A paint
Is
stick?
where are the rulers? Where are the yardsticks? And
You know,
because people just love them.
That's about the same size my mom
I
used
do
to
love a
spank me as a
yardstick.
kid.
It looks
really?
like something to
Oh,
keep
yeah.
your hand away.
Did you get spanked as a kid with a yardstick?
I was well behaved.
You-
Mine was a
I'm not
belt.
sure if I ever
Jack
got hit with a
Phipps, I know
yardstick.
better. What now?
I don't know if I ever got got smacked with a yardstick.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're very cool, and they come from our friends at Heritage Painting. They're great people, great speakers, and good people. They're here, and you can get your yardstick there or whatever this is.
Yardstick-ish. What else? You got some candies?
Oh, I just got candy, and I got a highlighter,
pen.
and I
Highlighter.
got, some chapstick,
and then some pens, and of
some
course a tote bag.
pens, and a tote bag.
If you have
Beautiful.
never been to Grand Park, probably the easiest way if you're coming from the south, come up Highway 31 to Highway 32, and then you're going to go west until you get to Spring Mill Road. At Spring Mill Road, go north I would not go where all the fast food stuff is. I'd go on down to Spring Mill Road, which is right where the Meyer store is. The Meyer store will be on your left. You turn right and come up, and you'll go right into the west side, and then just turn right, and you'll see the great big building. We're in the great big building towards the back, right next to a koi pond. Terry Lynn, we got fish over here. Did you bring your fishing pole?
No, you don't want to catch the koi. They're beautiful. They're friendly. They know you by your face. They're your friends.
They just know they want your food.
Yeah.
No, they know who you are. They're lovable.
They're also the size of a cat. So
Yeah.
They're
cool.
beautiful. I think they're cool.
yes, we're at the event space here at Grand Park. And then I want to say, too, they open at 10.
Open at 10.
Forgot to mention that part. And you can get tickets at the door.
You can get tickets online for $7 or tickets at the door for $10.
There you go.
There you go.
But well worth it.
Absolutely.
Oh, there's so much to look at.
And again,
and
hasn't even
Wilson's
started.
is here.
Yeah.
Yay! Wilson's Farm Market is here
And
with their fried pies
And we're inching closer and closer to them each year.
Yeah.
Our booth is right next door to
and
them.
my other favorite.
2026 in the booth.
You know what? Before we go to a break, I got a neat little message from Cindy Hewlin that the IMPD motorcycle drill team is performing in the Festival of Lights parade Saturday evening in Fort Myers. And Sullivan's down at Fort Myers right now, I'm pretty
fun.
sure. But John and Cindy are going to head over to see them next Saturday. They're the best in the country. They're in all of our parades. They're just a phenomenal group, and they're all
Traveled everywhere.
They're sponsored. There's no taxpayer dollars going into this, but if you're down in Fort Myers, you might be able to see them today.
Isn't
All right.
that funny that that's the first thing you think of to say? They're not paid for by the taxpayers.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
You know
Oh
someone's
my
going
gosh,
to ask,
everybody
though.
settle down.
Everyone's
down.
going
We would have
to,
never,
especially right now.
Right now. And you know what? We used to never ask that question. We were just proud of them and loved them. And now everybody's like, well, I hope they didn't. Not, are we paying for this? Oh, my gosh.
It's the Home and Garden Show. We are brought to you by the Michaelis Corporation. Water storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. When we come back, we're going to start getting into the weeds a little bit early. I think Jack and I are going to jump into the weeds a little bit early because we got a lot of people we want to interview here because there's so many neat booths. Terry just scratched the surface. But we'll hear all of that when we come back right here on 93 WIBC.
Here's your music.
It's fine.
Okay, good.
It's fine.
I feel better.
Do you feel better?
It's the Home and Garden Show. We're
so
going
glad you're
to
here,
sort of mix things up a little bit. You know, Pat's a real disciplinarian. Everything has to be in its place. Everything we have to know exactly what we're going to do for every segment. Every minute is
Wait a
scripted.
minute. That's you.
And that's Pat. And so when I reached out to my good buddy Jack Phipps from Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan, I said, we got to come up with something because everybody's getting itchy. I'm starting to get email messages. Is it too early to start the seeds? So what do you think, Jack? Is it time to start seeding?
I think it's just about time.
And how do we do it? What's a good way to approach it?
So I think really the first thing you want to do, it can be overwhelming to go look at a seed rack and think,
It's crazy.
what am I going to pick?
It's crazy.
Yeah, you could end up picking things you like, and the next thing you know, you have, 1 tomato, 8 flowers, and you thought you had a salsa garden. Far from it. I think it's good to do some research, find out what space you have.
Where do you go for research? If you needed help on the overall design of, and we're just starting the seeds. I mean, we're just starting cups right now, but where do you go for design work?
I think my first go-to would be the Master Gardener, the Purdue Master Gardener resource online. There's so much, and it's all tailored to Indiana, so it couldn't be more applicable to us.
Absolutely.
And, state to state, it can be a little different with that first frost date, last frost date. So,
All right, so let's start off with the containers. Allison's got a big shiny window right there by the kitchen, and she wants to start some things. What type of containers does
It's
she
in my
get?
fully paid off house. Beautiful
Oh,
view.
yes.
big bay window.
Yeah, 3 acres.
So really,
Horses.
you see those big plastic kind of greenhouses, those big black
Right.
trays with the plastic dome. And I think that's a great setup. It takes away all the hassle from kind of having to.
And why do you want the dome?
So the dome provides humidity. It keeps the water from evaporating, and then when you have the tray, it keeps moisture down in there as well.
Now, those trays are usually 2x12 or 2x6.
Yep.
Does it matter what goes closest to the window and what goes closest to the kitchen sink or to the window?
Not necessarily. You want to rotate them because they're going to grow towards the light. So I think if you do end up getting some type of tray, even if you have a bright window, I usually do recommend that people still get a light.
In giving full tribute to my buddy Pat Sullivan, he has pushed me towards a cactus mix and potting mix combined. He says, put a cup of this and a cup of that, mix it up with your fingers. But do you need dirt? What about dirt from the garden?
Dirt is good. Soil can hold a lot of water, and these little seeds don't have the power to push through like a soil, as opposed to, say like other planting substrate. So vermiculite is what I've always personally used.
Is that the one with the little white bubbles in it, or
That's the perlite. So vermiculite is just, it looks like a little almost like little gravel.
Okay.
But it just helps retain some water, helps with drainage, but then it's a very light substance that the seeds can kind of push right through.
All right, so we got the lighting. Mother Nature's going to provide the lighting.
Yep.
Then what type of temperatures are we looking for? Because some people keep their houses at 64 to 65 degrees. Is that kind of cold for the seeds?
Not for a nighttime temperature, but when you're starting the seeds, most of them germinate. They're used to nighttime temperatures outside around that 60, 65, and then you want to germinate 10 degrees warmer during the day. So that's when something like a little heat, mat can be helpful just to kind of keep that seed germinating at a constant temperature.
Terry has taught me that the way you learn is by mistakes. What is the what is the worst mistake that you normally make with seeds that you don't make the next year?
I think you'll start to realize as you have them grow, your first year you're going to have some leggy seedlings.
What's that from?
So if they end up having to reach to some light, so let's say, your greenhouse isn't as close to the window as you thought it would be, you notice the plants are getting a little taller, more space between those first leaves. That means they're not getting enough light.
Got it.
You want them to grow upright, kind of short, stocky. So that kind of light above, again, keeps them kind of short and stocky and prevents them from getting too leggy.
We just finished. Jack Phipps from Allisonville Home and Garden has joined me. We're talking about setting up the ideal seed starting program. Jack, can you overwater seeds? Because I remember the first time I got a poinsettia, I was watering the crap out of this poor poinsettia, and I drowned it.
Yeah.
And I had no idea that everything was trapped inside. So how do we set up the watering schedule?
So I would say really best thing you can do if you have that humidity dome, you're just keeping that. So if you have a greenhouse with the dome, you're just keeping that bottom of that tray filled.
Now tell them how big is a greenhouse dome? Are we talking 12 inches, 18 inches?
So you can get some that are tall, but again, those seedlings, for the first 3-4 weeks are going to be no more than an inch tall. So these greenhouses tend to just be maybe 5 inches tall.
All right, so then we're going to get them all. Here it is. We're the first or second week of February. Our frost-free date is not until April.
Mid-April, but we typically say wait till Mother's Day to put them out, just because you get that one late season that can kind of do everything fragile in. But now is the time to get them started in your trays in your greenhouse, so that in about 10 weeks, we're able to start hardening them off to take them outside.
Master Gardeners teaches us that we want to put 2 or 3 seeds in a cup. But if all 3 of them come up, is it okay to prune them? Is it okay to pull one of them out and let the longest one go?
Absolutely. So I would actually pinch back, the longest one too. Pinching back just helps keep it a little shorter and stouter. But that's after it's pushed out a few sets of leaves.
For your well-being, your mental health, I think watching little seedlings growing up, and especially if you put them like Allison, she puts them at her kitchen sink, right at the kitchen window. Every morning you get up and there it is, and you think, oh, look, the little guy's getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
If you don't realize, you'll get so excited about watching something. Well, I think we all do, but some people don't realize how fun it can be to watch something sprout from.
It's almost as good as the first time the dog goes outside and potties instead of on the rug.
It's very rewarding.
It's just almost that good. Uh-oh.
I have, and it's beautiful, a whole bag of potatoes that have sprouted.
Oh, my God.
And I keep them in the closet, in the pantry, in the dark.
What are you planning to do with these?
I don't know, but they don't smell great.
No.
But they are beautiful.
Do they have any green on the skin? Sometimes when we keep them in the dark a long time, they get a little bit of green. No? Yes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Little green.
Do you have a picture of them?
Green. I don't have a picture of them.
Well, they must
I
not
do
be very
have-
precious to you. You say they're very special
Well,
to you.
they are, but I'm afraid if I touch them too much, they'll,
Fall apart.
I'm keeping them in the dark, and I don't want a whole lot of light to hit them. I do have the plant, a picture of the plant that we got on Mother's Day last year from Who's Your Boy?
Who's your boy? Yes.
And here it is. I mean, it is still, I water it like twice a month.
Wow.
It's in the house,
I'm impressed.
and
That's just about
and he's
perfect.
blooming.
I can't believe it. That looks so good. I'm
It's
so proud of
amazing.
you.
I can't
mean,
believe
really
you got
amazing.
that from Hoosier Boy.
What do you mean?
It looks like a little hibiscus in there.
Well, what's
Well-
that? We got them from Schlegel, right?
Yes. Yeah.
oh, it is
Mark,
just a begonia.
Yes. It was like it was a full pot full of different flowers, but those are the ones that are left, the begonias.
I'm glad you think that looks pretty.
Because
Jack
why
is
are
being
you
crit-
saying that?
Uh-oh.
So I would.
Okay,
She
all
put
right,
her
all right.
pen
Listen,
down.
There's some trouble here. There is a little bit of trouble, and I do talk to them and try to help them along. They're struggling right now.
Just like a seedling can get too long, a branch can get too long, and if you.
Oh, you're going to tell me to cut it off.
Yeah, I am.
Well,
If she cuts it off,
I'll
there's
let you
some real
down,
drama here at the
gently.
Home and Garden Show.
Yeah.
We happen to be at Grand Park, and
Looks great,
do I need
though.
to call security?
if she prunes those, can you guarantee they'll grow back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
oh, yeah.
fertilize.
Oh,
Yeah.
you really can?
You can cut those back.
And if not, you'll give me what?
an
Terry's wants some
apology
guarantees.
and a replacement in the spring.
You realize how skeptical a woman
pretty
you
good.
sound?
It is pretty good.
That's
okay.
Try one branch at a time. Pick your longest stalk.
Oh man, it has a little flower at the end of
Jack,
that long straggling
have you ever
stem.
have you ever been to with a woman when she goes to the hairdresser and she's going to get her hair cut, and in the stylist
where
is
he's
telling
going
them
with
you get a
this.
little bit of cut here. Well, what? And the person in the chair saying, "Well, what? Can you guarantee that it's not going to flip up or go back?" And the stylist, you just need to trust me.
I have a twin sister. Did the exact same
You're
thing.
you're the stylist, man. You're trying to tell Terry she needs to cut her hair, and she's not buying it.
Yeah. No, just a little bit off the end.
With the flower on it? On the very end, cut that off.
You can wait till that flower
Okay.
falls.
I trust you.
The Home and Garden Show.
I
Well,
wouldn't
we
lead you wrong.
We are at the Indy Suburban Outdoor Living. This is one of 3 shows that this group puts up. It is a wonderful show. It's a good investment. The show opens at 10 o'clock. It's $10 at the door. If you go on the website, which is easy to find with a Google search or a DuckDuckGo search, it's $7. And that'll get you in. You can stay all day. Terry, have you
there's-
investigated the food?
Right there. Well, yes, there is food here, but there are things for kids to do, all kinds of cool stuff. In fact, I think they have a kids' day that we'll tell you about. Perhaps it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
But again, all of your favorite people are here, and most of them are the owners, the local owners that are here.
Patios, kitchens,
Everything. As you're
garden.
dreaming about your 2025 and what you're going to do. You can buy a koi. We've got a koi here right
They
behind
can buy the
us.
koi?
Well, I
Well,
mean,
Terry,
We'll sell it to you.
nobody says you can't.
I'm going home with the koi.
I'd like
I
to go
am.
with a koi in a big bag, like when you're walking
in your
from the
pocket.
carnival. You know, you could hold in your big
That's
koi
good.
in a
That's
big
good.
plastic
You need a Walmart bag for that.
But it has to be
One of the
clear
booths
bag.
that you just have to see is the one with the metal palm trees. And Terry, turn around your right shoulder, look down there at the
I
metal
know
palm.
it. You
They-
talked to him last year.
Last year, they can.
Denny's
you can
completely fascinated.
I
with
was. I
these
almost got
palm trees.
one, but they were kind of pricey for old Denny Paul. But
He
they
said-
can set up plumbing to it, so you can take a shower out there. But
Wow.
it's really,
Wow.
really cool. It's the Home and Garden Show. We're brought to you by the Michaelis Corporation. Water storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Richard's going to join us a little bit later in the show. Michaelis, you can find them at 844-FIX-INDY. We've got Allison Lemons, Terry Stacy, Jack Phipps. Ethan's back in studio and as lonely as one poor boy can be. But
Wow.
we'll be back with you in just a second. 317-239-9393 right here on WIBC. Has not missed a lick. She's negotiating for free meals already with Ryan Marshall from Ryan Marshall. What do we call you? Ryan Marshall Entertainment? Because you're the ones put together, or along with Donnell, put together the Suburban Outdoor Living shows.
Well, Donnell is the one that sells all the booth space and makes it all happen, and I just help her do the marketing and try to get people to come out here and see all this wonderful stuff that we have.
So Terry's negotiating for food. Do you have, if people come out here for an afternoon, is there a place? I know you got great bathrooms, but do you have food and beer and?
We have it all. We've got a great bar and grill upstairs, so you can get a full hot meal, full bar, whatever you want to drink and eat. But we also have lots of awesome vendors with food and snacks here that you can get to get ready for the big game.
Yeah.
On Sunday, we've got all kinds of. We're sitting right next to the sausage and pickle guys.
Love that.
There's Wilson's Farm Market just to our right over
Beautiful.
here.
Yeah,
Has some
you
great
got this
baked goods.
bourbon palace for those bourbon drinkers like Katz and his smoking buddies.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting booth because everything's made out of old beer barrels
Yeah, they've got
or whiskey barrels.
all the barrels that they've turned into fire pits and different tables and setups and everything. So, and then
pretty
just lots
cool.
of great snacks and things all through our marketplace. We've got a lot of different food and products.
What's the ratio between mom and pops who have like special crafts or foods and stuff to the businesses? Because the nice thing is that you've interspersed them in here so we can see a lot of different things.
Yeah, Donnell did a great job when she kind of put the vision together for the show to have obviously the home and outdoor living aspects that the show's namesake is, but also make sure we've got the marketplace aisle and then scattered throughout as well with a bunch of those mom and pop type businesses. So I would say the ratio is probably somewhere in the 65-35 range, 2/3, 1/3, whatever you want to say, I guess,
cool.
as far as the ratio of commercial businesses, home and outdoor living show kind of.
We were at the Suburban Indie Home and Outdoor Living show. It's up at Grand Park, which is just a little bit north of Highway 32 in Hamilton County. You got to come up here. Very reasonably priced. $10 at the door.
Yeah, or
$7 online.
Yeah, if you go online, it's only $7, and we pay the fees. We're not Ticketmaster, who's also going to charge you another bunch, $4 or $5 in fees on top of it.
Yeah,
so we
and
handle
parking.
The fees.
We get free parking.
We get
That's
free
so hard to
parking.
find these
That
days.
is
It's free
so-
parking, and
If
especially
you
a
go
place
to the
like
state
this.
fair, Terry, what was parking at the state fair?
It's $10.
$10.
It's $10 to park at the fairgrounds. Kids, though, are very welcome here.
Kids 12 and under are free. We have a whole kids' day set up tomorrow.
What is that? I mean, what do you get to do tomorrow?
So tomorrow we've got a lot of fun things. We've got some princesses coming out here. We got 3 princesses.
You got 2 princesses right here. We got Allison and
come
Terry.
on.
We've got them. They are the OG princesses. I've certainly known this princess for a long time. Talking to Terry here, but yeah, we've got 3 princesses. They're going to do some song, storytelling, dancing, meet and greet with the kiddos afterwards. We've got a new dinosaur dimension. Puppeteered dinosaur show that's going to do a little education.
Oh, the kids
different
love
things
the
like that.
dinosaurs.
Big dinosaurs or hand-like dinosaurs?
I would say 2 to 3 feet. But on the hand, and various puppeteers that are doing that and putting on a stage show. We've got some balloon artists that are fantastic. They pre-make a bunch of stuff and do a bunch of balloon art and masks and headdresses and all kinds of stuff that is a fantastic show, as well as a magician. So we've got a huge lineup of things for kids on Sunday.
Are special hours on Sunday different than today?
10 to 4. So today's 10 to 7. We close down at 4 to help everybody get home for the big game festive. And but yeah, 10 to 4. So we've got magic, princesses, dinosaurs, balloons, and then more dinosaurs, more princesses a second time.
You've got a couple of folks going to come over and join us. Do you have a favorite booth? I mean, you got 250 to choose from. Have you got a favorite booth?
Man,
I'm not putting you on your back. Am I your favorite son? That's the question at the reunion.
It's hard not to love the landscapes, right? I mean, you walk in on a February, somewhat dreary day, and you walk in here, and then all of a sudden you get the
That's
smell
what
of
Jack
flowers
just said.
and
Jack
the
just said
scenery.
fresh mulch. When was the last time you smelled fresh mulch?
Yeah, so I mean that's the wow factor, the visual beauty of the show. Walking down that center aisle with all the landscapes that do a great job installing this stuff in just a few days. But yeah, and where we're sitting here, right next to Cool Ponds with their water features
And
flowing
fish in the pond behind us.
Yeah, so I
Terry
would say
says she's taking those home with her too. By the way,
those are some of my favorites. And then of course, I don't miss a snack too, so we'll get some food for her too.
Don't you worry. I've already scouted everything out. I know my path. I know where I'm going. Right to the right to Wilson's, and then I'm straight over to Jerky People, and I just got a whole plan.
Ryan Marshall, thank you for joining us. You're going to be bringing some people by for us.
Yeah, we'll have some people coming up a little later in the show from here to tell you a little bit more about what they do and what you can get out here. Lots of great discounts and deals for people.
All right, so how do you give the directions? I just say 31 to 32, come over to Spring Mill, or come up by the fast food place, just go north.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that. I honestly think coming 31 up to 191st Street's the easiest route.
Okay.
If you get off at 191st Street, that puts you right here next to the event center.
There you go.
Just on the back side of the building. And
I'm glad Sullivan's not here because then he'd make fun of me.
Oh, well, you know.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
can do the 32 route if you want to make a couple stops on the way, but if you want less traffic, less things to deal with, just get off at the 191st Street exit.
Ryan, thanks for joining us.
Yep.
Hopefully we'll see Danelle. If we don't see Danelle, who is the sales manager princess of all sales, she's
the
really
owner.
good. She's the owner.
The big kahuna.
The Huna. Yeah. Please give her our best because this is something to be proud of for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks
for joining
Thank
us.
you, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right, now Ethan says we got a caller, and he's going to bring Ethan. Go ahead and bring up our caller. I think it's regular Jeff, but I'm not positive. Let's see if we can get him to. There we go. Hey Jeff, how are you?
Hey, I'm fine. Thank you, Denny. Hello, Terry. Love
Hello.
you. All of you.
Hello and love you
Okay.
back.
I came up with an idea, and it's in the working, but it's already installed. We bought a home that it was actually built in like the 30s, okay? Because I told you I moved from Lake Lemon to Martinsville. And so we could not get our downspouts to go because our road was higher than there's no storm. So hear me out. So I went and bought a 1,500-gallon tank, and all of my gutters now are tied into that tank. And then I bought a irrigation system that irrigates all of my water so that it does not get wasted to feed and put oh my God. I put all the
It's a great
heads
idea.
and
It
everything.
is.
And it's beautiful because look, now I'm not real willing to
So why do you think we're going to give you a hard time? We're not going to give you a hard time. This is a great idea. The only thing
I'm
is
impressed.
your intake has to be at least 8 inches off the bottom of that tank, or you're going to get all the grubbies and stuff that comes in from off the roof and stuff. It's a great idea, Jeff.
No, it's 2 foot above it. And the whole thing is I get to suck all that water that would normally go to waste or be in my yard and everything because there's no storm system here. But the whole thing is it irrigates our whole yard. So if I have something here, and you can't even tell because of my restoration qualities, that I've even put a tank out there. But the whole thing is it's irrigating now all of our plants around the whole home. It's irrigating my garden and everything with just rainwater not going to waste. How's that?
Jeff, you're a good guy. I appreciate you sharing the time with us, and you can be proud of yourself because that is really a good idea. Jack, we do that all the time with what we call rain barrels.
Yeah, I was just going to say. It
He
sounds
takes it to another level with 1,000 or 1,500-gallon tank. That's probably a septic tank is what that is.
That's cool.
That's how that is. It's the Home and Garden Show where you can try to take some of your phone calls. You see that Jeff got through. It's 317-239-9393. More when we come back from the Home and Garden Show right here on 93 WIBC. Home and Garden, and you heard Pat Sullivan's wonderful commercial about gutter helmet. I want to remind you, what Jeff was saying, Jack, about using rain barrels. What a perfect thing is to have gutter helmet, which keeps all the crud out, and you get just nothing but fresh water in your rain barrel.
Right?
Yeah. We should have said that during that commercial.
Whoops.
But I didn't. Well, maybe we can make up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
See
Home
what
and
we can
Gar-
do.
It's the Home and Garden Show. We are at the Indy Suburban Indy and Outdoor Living Show. We're at Grand Park. Found a new way to get here, 31 up to 191st Street. Go west, and you slip right in. It's the biggest building on the property. You can't
The
miss
event
it.
center. Yep.
The event
Even
center.
if you get
Main
close to
parking lot.
Westfield, there are signs everywhere.
Truly.
The land of Grand Park. I mean, you can't. And then you got your MapQuest. You got your maps on your phone.
Oh, yeah.
Just put it in.
I live in Westfield, and when they started this project, I was always flying over this, but I never really knew what it was because I was in the gyroplane, and it was huge. And I thought, what a boondoggle for the city. I mean, I was really skeptical, and I was not a big fan of Andy Cook at the time because I thought, man, the debt and everything. But this has been a home run, and it is from all over the
I
country.
see what you did there. Home run.
Home run. Oh, yes.
Oh,
Is
without
that
even
good? I
realizing.
told you she was good. But
Wow.
anyway, it is paying for itself. It is a public-private relationship. Westfield really benefits from this in a big way, not the least of which is great shows like this.
Yeah, but boy, how's this area changed.
Wow.
Every time I come up here, there's something new popping up.
We had
you know?
farm fields all around us.
I
We moved
know.
out here. We were nowhere
I
near.
know.
And now,
Don't get me started.
I can throw, I can throw a rock and hit a house, in any direction. So that's the way the pickle squirts. You know what that?
Oh, we're right next to the pickle people.
Yeah, I thought you'd remember that too.
I love their
Five-star.
pickles.
Hey, come on out here. It is very reasonable.
Doors are opening in 5 minutes.
in 5 minutes, but there's a lot of people already moseying around, so it might have opened up a little bit early. Tomorrow, Terry, they've got something for the kids too.
It's a big day. It's Kids' Day here, and
Yep.
they're going to have dinosaurs, real ones, and also princesses, and real ones, real princesses, and just all kinds of fun things to climb on and play on, and just shows.
Balloon art.
A magician?
Oh, your favorite.
Yeah.
And he said, not just your regular wiener dog.
Hey,
I mean, they're going to give
Did
you
you
something
know-
special.
Hats.
Right.
did you
I'm
know
coming
that we
back
did a
just for
magic
that.
act? We did a magic act when you ladies were gone. Alice was on the cruise.
I listened
you were
to
gone.
it.
Did you see it?
No, I think it probably would have been better
Oh
to
my gosh,
see it.
we
I
made the
watched it.
water disappear.
I know. I
Yeah,
heard
a
it.
little bit
It
of a
was
science project.
A little bit of magic, too.
Yeah, the Suburban Indie Home and Outdoor Living Show
That's
is
it.
open till 7 tonight. It'll be open till 4 tomorrow, and it is at Grand Park at the Event Center.
Yeah,
What a
go to
great one.
suburbanindieshows.com. That'll give you kind of the layout and the times, and I think you can get your tickets there too if you want to.
Yes, a little
Yeah.
cheaper, $7,
So,
I
yep,
think.
you get them cheaper and check there first before you come out.
Jack, I got a text message from a buddy. He says, why cactus blend? I said that, we would mix potting mix with cactus mix. You want to explain that for Steve?
It's really just that it has some sand in there. So it has a little bit less of the peat, a little bit more of the sand. And for the same reason you had drowned your first poinsettia by overwatering, that cactus mix just helps the seed from getting too wet, but keeps it really perfectly moist.
Perfectly moist. That's where you go. So, Steve, there you go. Mix it up. Don't use just dirt. Dirt holds moisture, and you'll drown those poor seedlings.
You'll learn the hard way.
You'll learn, that's how you learn. Terry's got a whole fistful of sugar here. Terry, where'd you get your sugar?
She started off with a lot more.
You get it here. This is my favorite part of home shows and the outdoor shows.
All the freebie stuff?
Are the free candy, right? And chapstick and pens and highlighters.
If you're
and
early enough, a tote bag.
tote bag. Oh yeah, tote bags are right over here beside of us. near
Quick to
us.
go.
And that's what I'm doing. I'm waiting for how many more minutes now because I'm headed right over to Wilson's.
It's about 3.
3 minutes till?
Wilson's Farm Market. And I tell you what, that's really close. We go straight up Highway 31 to Wilson's Farm Market because we get our persimmon pulp there.
Yeah, but you
They
could
have their-
also get your fried chicken and everything. I mean, I wish I was closer to
They
them.
still
Fried
have-
chicken?
They
oh,
have,
yeah.
they
Oh,
have
my
hot
gosh.
meals.
You walk in that place and you can smell pecan pie. You can smell, I think they have sugar cream pie. They have all the
Everything.
pies. It's a bakery going crazy.
What's
Sounds
the
like
first
a
thing you're
Hoosier
gonna-
bakery.
What's the first thing you're going to get?
Fried pie.
A fried pie? What flavor?
Any flavor.
Any flavor?
I love them all. Chocolate. All banana,
Lemon? Did you get a lemon
Lemon.
before?
strawberry, cherry. I mean, every kind of flavor you can imagine, and they're fresh and they're delicious. And I can't wait. I'm going to get a dozen.
For those of you, we really need to take a picture of this. Terry came in here with a beautiful engagement ring, so I'm assuming that she's engaged. You want to tell us the story of this beautiful ring?
No,
Jenny.
for any of us that go to shows, there's a person at some of the booths called the Ring Lady. And the Ring Lady,
And that's just a mom and pop type show.
just a mom and pop.
Yeah.
And they go to all of these shows, and if you ask anybody that goes regularly, they would tell you, be sure to stop and see the Ring Lady. $20 to $25 rings. Little higher if you pick
I could
bigger.
not tell.
And they are guaranteed for life. If anything should happen to this ring, you send it to them, and they send you another one back. Heard people tell stories that there's very rarely a time. I have several of them. They don't turn. And if you do lose them, you don't feel so awful.
Do they make your finger turn gray?
No, that's what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
mean, they are truly amazing rings. And so there's always 100 people around the Ring Lady when you see the Ring Lady.
That's the type of booths that are out here. A little bit of mom and pop.
Yep.
We had Ryan Marshall. He said it's about a third of the constituency of the booths is mom and pop. Just people who have
right.
crafts.
Our neighbors, there are so many good people here.
And then we have people like across from us where you can do pergolas, you can do landscaping with swimming pools. I'm looking at great things. And then look right behind us, Jack. That is, Allison wants to jump up on the deck.
This is
sit
my
these-
favorite so far.
Yeah, Allison's going to take over that sitting space right there.
Well, yeah, we're in
Love
front of
it.
the Cool Ponds, the Garden and Rental Center. Retail center.
Retail.
I have my contacts in. Sorry.
No contacts today?
Yeah.
Well, you did really well.
Got some live koi fish in here as well. We're very excited
I
about
could
it.
see those.
Yeah, I don't know
could
the
see those.
price of the koi. I don't know what the price is.
Those are fairly big koi. I bet
Big.
those are $12 to $15. Anyway, I just got a note that I'm supposed to let Josh's dad, Gary, know that he made it to the show on time. He's with Property Pros. He's a very irresponsible young man, but he is here. He is on time. Dad, you can relax. He's selling. He's selling. See, these are family businesses, you know. Dad didn't want to get up on a Saturday
I
morning,
know.
so he sent his son. I know-
There's our friends at Funky Junk Dumpsters. They're here too.
Oh yeah, the big.
It's time to get the dumpster.
The Funky
Getting
Junk.
close.
We are at the Suburban Indie and Outdoor Living Show. We are at Grand Park. We hope you will get up here. It's $10 at the door. You can get $7 tickets online. Take advantage of that. It is the Home and Garden Show for 93 WIBC.
Well, some folks say that grown-up men are still just little boys, that really the only difference is the price of our toys. We go for macho symbols like guns and running shoes, pickup trucks, hunting ducks, and power tools, power tools, power tools.
So we are here at the Suburban Indie and Outdoor Living Show, and it smells like pickles here. Now, Cameron, you're the professional here. Pull your mic down and tell us what this pickle smell's all about.
Ooh,
Yeah.
you put him on the spot,
You
Denny.
doggone right.
He
I
did,
put him
he
on the
did.
spot because it smells
Five-star
like
pickles.
I got a
and
bunch of
sausage.
different kinds of chips. It
It's
says kosher
fantastic.
dill, extra garlic, hot garlic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Sweet
Pat's favorite.
horseradish is the
Yeah,
best
those are
seller.
the ones he stole last year from me. If anybody remembers,
That's right.
I had a plate of them, and I turned around and they were gone.
That's right. And then he said he bought the table
Yeah.
jar, and
Yeah.
he ate them all.
Oh, I love them.
The Suburban Indie Home and Outdoor Living Show. We've got a lot going on here, and I tell you what, guess who's going to join us here right now? I cannot see my cursor, so I'm going to
There you
ask
go.
Ethan to bring him up. Oh, no, I got him. JMV, how are you, brother?
Denny, where are we this morning?
Johnny, we're in what we're going to
Westfield.
call North Hamilton County, north of 32, south of 191st Street, and just west of
Known as
31.
Grand Park.
Grand Park,
We're
buddy.
at Grand Park.
I don't know why he gave you all the directions.
It was for the listener,
great
Allison.
area
It was for the
up there.
listener. Have you been? Yeah, have you been up here with your daughter or son? Do they ever play up here?
Yeah, I played up there all the time. The Pacers have their basketball facility up there too, so we were up there
Yes,
a lot.
they do.
You know, obviously, in the summertime, the Colts train up there, and then we got one of our favorite places, Sundowns, right up there too, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, good area. So.
All right, so the big game's tomorrow. I'm not allowed to say Super Bowl on air, so I got to make sure that I don't say Super Bowl because I'm only allowed to say the big game. But I think I got to say I'm an Eagles fan because I'm disgusted about all the easy calls that I've seen Kansas City get. They've played those videos so many times.
It's fixed, Denny.
It's fixed.
Just get right to it. It's
Everyone's
fixed.
saying it's fixed.
Yep.
What do you think, John?
I think that you should be a Chiefs fan for tomorrow because Carson Steele from Center Grove, the rookie, is on that team. The little local
there you go.
flavor
Oh, we
right
got
there for you.
a rookie
Yeah.
Hoosier.
Yeah, he is
There's
a great
no, I
kid.
don't have the list in front of me, but I think
We have a delay.
there's 5 ties to Indiana. 5
Yeah.
players tied with Indiana ties.
But
With the Chiefs, or both?
Yeah, the Chiefs have Carson Steele. The Chiefs have Drew Tranquil from Fort Wayne. They have George Karloftis, who is from West Lafayette and Purdue. And I'm trying to think who else. Nick Sirianni would be one, although I've never liked him. He's the Eagles head coach. And is there one more? Would you say 5, I think, in all?
I think there were 5 I saw yesterday, but I could be wrong.
I know. What's his name? Peyton Hendershot.
Come on,
who
John.
Yeah, Peyton Hendershot.
That's
from
it?
Tri-West, the tight end who was on the Chiefs team too. So there you go. There's all 5.
John,
Oh, wow.
let me ask you a question about the Hall of Fame choices this year.
Yes.
what I looked at it, and the guys that got in, I really thought they were the right choices. I was sad, that the Colts players did not get in, but I didn't feel like they got cheated. Am I missing something here?
Well, here's the only thing. If you have a Hall of Fame and you have people that are first ballot Hall of Famers, and the absolute, no doubt, greatest kicker of all time is not a first ballot, then stop at the first ballot. If Adam Vinatieri is not a first ballot Hall of Famer, nobody should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He has done everything for that position, at that position, to dictate winning in terms of being elite. So that's my only argument, Denny, is if there's first ballot, let's say, for example, hey, J.J. Watt's a first ballot Hall of Famer. If J.J. Watt's a first ballot Hall of Famer, Adam Vinatieri is a first ballot Hall of Famer. So that's the only thing to me. It's just I don't know what the criteria
I appreciate that.
is.
I really appreciate that perspective.
Yeah, if he's a kicker or what,
I appreciate your perspective. I'm not the sports guy that you are. I was just looking at it, and I saw the guys that got in. I thought, well, they're doggone good, and maybe some of them were. They had. Let's see, one of them was a fourth time up, and that was his fourth chance. So it's all politics,
hey,
and I know it is.
Denny, you're right.
But
you're right the way you look at it. Just Vinatieri's the only thing that's different to me because he is the greatest of all time to ever play that position in the NFL. And, he's been the difference in Super Bowl games, as we've seen before, between winning and losing. So that's what's significant to me. And you're right otherwise. I mean, you're right. Even with Reggie Wayne, as much as we love Reggie Wayne, he's going to get in at some point. It just may not be as quickly as everybody might want. But Adam Vinatieri was the only thing that stood out to me.
John, we're fighting a delay here when we're up here at West Park, when we're up here at the Suburban Grand Park Event Center. I want to ask you one thing, and that's tonight's show. What's the genre that we're going for? Are we going to stick with 80s, or we're getting outside the box here?
Denny, we will stick with 80s for the most part, but it is a celebration. I think what they're doing this weekend on B105.7 is a celebration of those that have performed in the Super Bowl, but it's mostly going to be 80s. But we'll, like Prince, for example, who probably is the greatest of all time, Super Bowl 41 when the Colts won down in Miami. You get a lot of 80s with that.
Pouring down rain.
Celebrating that.
Yeah. John, we're fighting a delay here, and I know you got to go, but thanks for everything. I really appreciate the show. It's 105.7. What time do you start this evening, and how long are you going?
6 until midnight. We'll be downtown with Billy Joel and Sting as well, who are playing downtown later on tonight. So it should be a blast. You guys have a great day up in Westfield.
Thanks for calling, John. That's JMV. He's going to be on 105.7. If you've never had it, it's a call-in show, and what fun. Just what fun. If you got a song from the 80s that you want to hear or something special, just reach out to him, dial the number, and by golly, we've got listeners from all the way from California, Florida. I think he had 2 from overseas over in Great Britain one night. So anyway, that's 105.7, our buddy JMV. Hey, I want to say thank you to the Polish Cottage, Polska Chata, and it is Maggie Goshabaniak, the Polish Cottage lady. We've got some, what do we call these, poochkies? What do we call
Those
these?
are poochkies.
Are they
Poochkies.
the Paxi?
I don't know. They're strawberry and raspberry, well labeled, and our buddy Steve Bronco brought them by.
Yeah.
And he did let me know. I always ask him, are we safe? He's in national security, and he always reassures me that we're okay. And
We're safe.
That's what we need.
I don't want to know.
You don't want to know? You don't want to see it coming?
No.
Willfully ignorant.
I'm going to open the punchkis.
Look
I was
at
going
you.
to say,
Carrie, that's
know.
been sitting in front of Jack and me for the better part of 20 minutes.
I know.
Jackie,
We've been patiently waiting.
yeah.
Really?
They
Here we
look
go.
great.
I will say,
that's a good
right
one.
at 10 o'clock, Terry was the first customer at a certain
Wilson's.
booth over here.
Wilson's Farm Market, I was number 1. It was so funny because all
Did
the
you
people,
get
there were-
anything?
all the vendors. were
Did you buy
giving
anything, or did you just ask for something
I bought
free?
some stuff.
You bought some stuff. You
She had
paid.
an armful of pies.
Oh, wait a minute. Who got my credit card? Did you
Allison's
get my
got
credit?
your- no,
oh,
Allison's got your
I was
credit
afraid you
card.
bought the stuff with my
No,
credit.
She used to run
I
money this
didn't.
time.
Yeah, that's it.
No.
Hey, we are at the
House
Suburban
is
Indy
funny.
Home and Outdoor Living Show. We are at Grand Park. It's a great place to be. The show is now open. 250 vendors. A good mix between mom and pops and then some family-owned businesses. And there's some national companies here, too. Lots of different things. If you're thinking about remodeling, whether it's the bathroom, the kitchen, whatever it might be, there's something here for you. If you're thinking that you just want to find some knickknacks to decorate around the house, you got that, too. And if you want to do a man cave or a she shed, there's lots of fun that is here. When we come back, we're going to try to reach out to the Miracle Method. We'll see if we can find them and let you know about a new business that's right here in central Indiana. We're big proponents of capitalism and people taking the big leap. And all that's here on 93 WIBC. It's the Home and Garden Show. I got Allison Lemons, Miss Terry Stacy. Jack, thanks for joining me again. It's good to have you, brother. Yeah, you're a lot easier to work with than Pat.
I get that a lot.
Yep. My name's Denny Smith.
Bet you do.
We're brought to you by the Michaelis Corporation. We'll be talking with them a little bit later, right here on 93 WIBC. Isn't it fun to watch Terry Stacy dance? The only thing we need is a pole. You're a dancer,
Best song
girl.
over. Best song ever. Look, who's sitting next to me. She's dancing too.
That's Dee Dee Panarisi from Miracle Method has got a booth up here at the Suburban Outdoor Living, and just a fun little place to be. 250. You're one of 250, Dee Dee.
Yes, sir, we are. Good
All right.
morning.
So what's so special about Miracle Method? Now, I don't know. Is that a facial cleanse? What is Miracle Method here?
She's going to tell you.
Miracle Method Surface Refinishing. We are not a facial cleanse or anything in that way, shape, or form. If you're looking to transform your bath or your kitchen spaces, upgrade them, change the color, we do all of that right in your home.
So you can do ceramic tile?
Yes, sir. We fully encapsulate the grout lines when we refinish over top of it, so there is no more nastiness coming through your grout.
These are two
She knows.
areas. If you're selling your home, these two areas, the kitchen and the bath, that's what experts say you focus on, making sure that those two rooms, those bathrooms too, are just perfect, because that's what perhaps buyers will look at first.
Yes, ma'am. That is exactly what they look at. All of our repair and refinishing comes with a 5-year transferable warranty for the adhesion of our product to your surface.
So I'm assuming then you could do enameled tubs, you could do cast iron tubs, steel tubs. You could probably even do washers and dryers because that is enamel, but that's not a direction you go?
Correct.
All right.
We stick with your fiberglass one pieces that nobody wants to get rid of because they don't want seams. We use UV light cured fiberglass resin and 3 layers of fibers to make repairs. So if
You
there's
sound like a scientist.
if there's a hole in your tub, we can fix it, and by the time we refinish over top of it, you'd never know it was there.
Isn't that great?
How long does an average project take like that?
About a day to a day and a half. Standard tubs for us take about 6 to 7 hours, and then we come back the next day and we buff and detail and polish what we've done so it's beautiful and shiny, and in most cases white, and bright white again.
Will the
for you.
smell melt the nose off my face?
No, sir. We are isocyanide free and low VOC.
Listen to this, isocyanide. That's a type of paint that we used to use on cars and trucks.
14 years ago when we started, a lot of our stuff was solvent-based, and now everything is moving to water-based.
Wow.
We also bring in a small 12-inch exhaust fan into the spaces that we're working in, and we keep the space under negative pressure and vent to an outside window so that our footprint in your home is as small as possible.
This is the way women think. Men
a
don't think
miracle.
about, well, no, I'll fix that for you, ma'am. But you're
brother.
thinking about the stink. You're thinking about the dust. You're thinking about. So how do you prepare the surface? Let's say it's a fiberglass tub. How do you prepare the surface?
We're going to go in and we're going to fully mask off around the area that we're not refinishing with 3M blue tape and paper and plastic. We'll also cover anything else in the bathroom that we're not working on. We have water-resistant ram board that we put on the floor. We have a proprietary 2-step cleaning system that we use to prepare the surface. We can make any repairs that are necessary. We have a bonding agent, which is the miracle to our method and promotes the superior adhesion that we have. We then use an air-compressed spray gun to apply a multi-layer polyacrylic. It's going to adhere right to your original surface.
Are tubs basically all white?
Yes.
Nobody has a colored tub anymore. I mean, was there a time that somebody maybe had like a pink tub
I can't say
My
that.
grandma had a pink tub.
I was thinking my grandma had a different colored tub too.
We make lots of pink and maroon and black tubs white, but if somebody has a vision for what they want, we can do any color in the Sherwin-Williams color deck.
could. What about Cinnamon Slate?
So we've done.
Benjamin Moore.
We have done.
that's
What about camouflage? Could you do a camouflage pattern?
That I cannot do. That would be interesting, but
Ladies
then
and
you'd never
gentlemen,
find your tub.
Those of you who are listening, Dee Panarisi is here with us from the Miracle Method. I'm going to call it remodeling type company, but she had all that from memory. She wasn't reading anything. She's internalized this. I got a feeling you're passionate about this, lady.
You can tell.
My
Yeah.
husband and I bought a franchise here in the state of Indiana 14 years ago. We were both ready to stop making money for other people and make money for ourselves, as well as provide local jobs and give back to our community in helping make our employees' dreams come true. We are locally owned and operated, but we are part of a network that spans North America. So 14 years we've been doing this.
How many employees do you have, Dee?
Right now we have 8.
Wally. That
Always looking for more.
Well, I
Always.
like-
There's plenty of work to do. And we also do this commercially as well as residentially. So we have been in apartments, hotels, universities. I mean, if there's a surface that people don't want to rip out and we can repair and refinish it right in place at a fraction of the cost of replacement, we're here for you.
a lot of people get kind of grouchy because they've got chrome fixtures or they've got brass fixtures, and then you've got your tub waste and overflow. How do you protect that during the process?
A couple of different ways. We can fully mask those off with that 3M blue tape and paper and plastic. A lot of folks, as a function of what we're doing, want to replace those fixtures. So we will ask them to have a licensed plumber come in and remove those, and we can go back to those original openings. So when the new fixture goes on, it's going on over top of a refinished surface.
What about a glitter tour or a glitter tub?
We can do that, and it's called Pearl. So just like you would put
okay.
Pearl in a car,
Yeah.
we can add Pearl to our top coat or to a clear that we have.
Yeah.
And we can make
Make
things
them
glow.
glittery. How about that?
So I want to make sure this this filling that you're putting on, it's not like Bondo, like what we use on a car. Tell me about this. You had 3 layers of something that you're putting on to fix holes and.
It's UV light cured fiberglass resin with 3 different layers of fibers. We use deck cloth, which is the really thick cloth. We have veil and matte that kind of smooth over the top. We are basically the only company in the state that isn't marine-based that will fix fiberglass in your home.
I don't think there's anybody else who can pronounce all the things that you're using. Jack, you had a question?
Yeah, it's like a tub. Do you do any type of so like slip and falls? I know it can be pretty big. I have an old tub that can still, even for me, be pretty slippery. Is there any type of traction you can put down in that base as part of that recovery?
Great housewife question, Jack. That was great. Wow.
We certainly do. We have a granular product that we actually mix in with our coating, or we can even add it to a clear coat and put it down and not change the color, and it makes it completely slip resistant.
That's cool.
What if I wanted to glow in the dark?
Terry,
That
it's
I
hard
can't
to
help
take you
with.
seriously.
I know there's some fingernail polish that'll glow in the dark that you might be able to put
Now,
on your
here's a
fingernails or
serious
something.
question. Jack wants to make sure it's slip resistant. I want to make sure that I'm not going to get skid marks on my bottom when I'm sitting in the tub. Well, can you still slide in the
Denny.
tub? Now, this is an important question, Terry Lynn.
Well, I guess it's probably one of your better ones. Okay.
Yeah, all right.
We can control the amount
Sorry,
of that
Allison.
granular product that
Okay.
we put in. So we can make it so that grandchildren's little bare behinds won't be
Exactly.
abraded in the bottom of your tub.
See, Terry?
But you still won't slip when you step in.
Perfect. Well, Dee Panarisi, how do people get in touch with you? How do they learn more about your product?
Our local number is 317-202-1305. Give us a call between 8 and 4:30 Monday through Friday, and Gabby will answer the phone. We offer free, no obligation in-home estimates. We go through the entire state of Indiana. You can also reach us online at miraclemethod.com/Indianapolis.
Perfect. Dee Panarisi, you're a pro. Thank you very much for stopping by.
My pleasure. I appreciate the opportunity.
And you can find the Miracle Booth. What row are you in here?
We are 743A, so at the end of the booth or the end of the aisle where most of the merchants are, that's where you'll find us at the end.
Dee Panarisi, thanks for joining us. It's great to have you. Never heard of the Miracle Method.
No.
You know, there were very, very few people when I was in the plumbing business that could do this. The fact that they give a 5-year warranty, how long does it really last? If you're given a 5-year warranty, I would guess it's going to last 10 to 15 years easy.
Easily. And people say, well, what happens to it? Well, it starts to erode just like any other original surface. You know how hard the water is here in Indiana. and everything sliding across your surfaces is going to start eating away at it immediately.
That's great. Hey, thanks for sharing time with us.
Appreciate the opportunity.
If you've got questions, we might be able to get a couple calls in here. 317-239-9393. It's the Home and Garden Show, brought to you by the Michaelis Corporation. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements, life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. It's 844-FIX-INDY, and we're 93 WIBC Corporation. Michaelis happens to help you through anything you might run into. We saw where a car went through a home on 42nd Street last night, and who are you going to call? Somebody's got to put your house back in order, whether it's a fire, a flood, or whatever it is. That's going to be Michaelis. You can reach them at 844-FIX-INDY. And who should show up here at the Suburban Outdoor Living and show but my second cousin on my brother's side, my old, I guess we're second cousins or third cousins. It's Dana Thompson. Dana, thank you for coming.
How many third cousin?
A third cousin on my brother's side, you know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm not related to you at all, but my brother is. Hey, you have a company called Serendipity Plants. And, of course, we got Jack in here, and he's taken a good look at your cactus. What is Serendipity Plants all about?
So we are just a small boutique plant store located in Garfield Park. So I focus on a lot of rare and harder to find plants.
Wow.
A lot of people spend their time over in Garfield Park at the conservatory because it's been so cold, and then you go in and it's this. I've been hearing people brag, you go in and it takes you to spring.
It's just beautiful. In
Yeah,
there. Yep.
it's beautiful,
Yep.
and you're close to that area.
I am just 1 block south of the conservatory.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right,
Yeah.
so you've sort of got a banana plant in front of me. It's got 5 bananas sort of going out, but it's a cactus. What is this cactus?
So this is a monkey tail cactus.
I love it.
Monkey tail. Okay.
And they are native to the Bolivian Andes. They grow on rocky soil. They're cactus mix. You want to have like a nice chunky, flowing mix. here.
Jack has really filled us in on this cactus mix thing.
We love a cactus
We
mix
love a
here,
cactus mix, yeah.
Good deal. And they cascade down, and they have these really big, beautiful flowers that come from the ends. So I chose this one to
Love
talk
it.
about because I just thought it was such a fun cactus.
How do you get them started? How, is it a seed? Is the pollination is flower to flower, of course, but how do they grow? I mean, where do they come from?
So these pup out. These actually pup out. So you can propagate them, but they do better if they have babies, and then you can separate the babies.
So how old do you think those cactus are that are in there now?
This one is probably a couple years old.
And then to get those couple feet, how long do you think we're looking at?
They typically grow about 6 inches to a foot a year. So depending on the care.
In good conditions, yeah,
Correct,
pretty
yeah.
well.
And then when they will only bloom when? Those beautiful flowers you're talking about at the tips.
If they are in the right conditions.
When they're
Right
happy.
condition.
Yeah, when they're happy.
When they're happy. So have they bloomed yet, or is it they've
This
got to
one,
get
no, This
older?
one's juvenile, so it's not quite there yet.
Okay.
I'm wanting to look. All right, so I'm looking at the bottom. We got holes on the bottom. Do you just keep this in this, and how often do you water it?
I would say water it every 2 weeks.
Every
Give it
2
a good
weeks?
water.
With a water dropper? Do you spray it with a sprayer? What do you do?
I typically just water on top here
All right.
and make sure you have a good flowy, environment.
It
So that-
sounds so easy.
You don't
and
want
Jack, you have terrible time with them.
The cactus, not my. I think touching them, repotting them, I tend to have bad luck with. Succulents, I really have a hard time with.
he loves them too much.
I do.
You love them too
If
much.
there's any dirt down
You're just
in the
not
needles,
into
I want
banana
to clean
tail.
it out.
Not banana tails, monkey tail.
Monkey tails.
All right, so give us some price points. When we go to Serendipity Plants, what are the price points? Where do we start, and how high do we go?
I have anything from $3-5 all the way up to $500, $600, $1,000 plants.
Wow.
And what size plants are we looking
Whoa.
at? Little 4-inch all the way up to some floor plants?
Correct, yep.
Hanging baskets?
Yeah,
A little
so,
bit of everything?
I have a little bit of everything.
And let's say you want to get something repotted. Can you help them
I
with
actually,
that too?
if you purchase a plant in store, I do it for free.
Oh, awesome.
Yep.
I like this woman already.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
I also do house calls, so if you have
A big plant?
a big plant, I'll go to your house and help you plant it.
So do you have like a
Wow,
little?
that's cool.
Do you have
That's
a
a
little
great
bag with a
service.
stethoscope in it, and where's the patient?
Like
You know,
the-
Emergency
like a doctor
on
vet.
call,
Yep,
yeah.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, Dana Thompson has joined us, and she's got a sweet little company called Serendipity Plants. She happens to be out here at the Suburban Indy show, and she's joined us here in the booth. So what did you bring? What will people see in your booth today?
I have anything from monstera to ficus. I have cacti as well as orchids. So you'll see a little bit of everything in the booth.
What were you most excited to bring?
The orchids. They're so
Orchids.
beautiful.
I can't wait.
Yes.
And orchids, I have one that is now 6 years old, and it's still in the same pot. We need to keep remembering that it needs to be in a bigger pot after some time, correct? It seems happy there in that little pot it came in. But
if it's
at
happy,
some point,
I wouldn't mess with it
Don't
because
force
orchids
it.
are
don't
epiphytes.
don't leave them. Just leave it alone.
Yeah, they grow on the side of trees, so their roots don't need to be bound into anything.
Oh.
We can talk more later.
Wow.
Orchids, whole other story.
Well, people oftentimes they love orchids, but they think they're so high maintenance and hard to take care of. But
Correct.
the truth is,
I think they're super easy.
Yeah.
I dunk mine once a week, and then I make sure that there's just no water in the crown, kind of, tip it over.
Yeah.
My orchids are pretty happy.
What happens if they get leggy? I know you've got those little hair clips that you have a
Yeah.
little stake and then you sort of clip them around. If they get leggy, is that all you can do, or do you want to prune them back?
So if they get leggy, you can repot them into a different situation. You can use a trellis if you'd like.
Okay.
But like I said, they hang off of trees and rocks and stuff like that, so it's not really necessary.
They're used to growing in kind of indirect light, so they're not ever necessarily growing towards light. So
Okay.
that you don't see a leggy growth on them per se.
So what's their natural enemy? Who eats them?
That's a great question.
That is a good question. I'm not too sure about that. I'll have to look that one up.
I've never seen an orchid in a salad. Now, I have seen orchids. Have you ever seen
Yeah.
flower petals on an edible dish?
but they look like orchids, but they're not orchids. Don't
They're-
eat them.
Don't.
I would not.
That's
A real orchid. I mean, an
I wouldn't
orchid.
eat a real
Okay.
orchid.
That's the point. So
What is that on the
$5 to $500?
Pansy.
What type of who buys a $500 cactus or plant? My God,
A lot of people. It's a cool collector thing.
It is a cool collector thing. Yeah. So I do have some really nice anthurium,
Ooh.
as well as Hoya.
I thought that was an anesthesiologist. Okay. What is that? What type of plant is that?
It's also an epiphyte that grows similar to an orchid. They have these really nice roots, pretty similar to an orchid, I would say. And they are just big, beautiful.
Anthurium are cool. They'll put out some really big leaves. They almost look like prehistoric plants. That's one that I think had a fad a while ago. And if you're still able to, hang on to some, you really have the plant.
Well, that was
thing
like in
down.
Jurassic Park. Are they ancient? Are they prehistoric type plants?
They've been around for a long time.
They,
Wow.
they
It's
grow.
like a
Beautiful.
true jungle plant.
As long
Yeah.
as Pat Sullivan?
Maybe a little bit longer.
Maybe a little bit
longer,
longer
yeah.
than that. Well, Dana, thanks for stopping by. What a fun thing. You obviously love this.
I do. I do love
you
this.
obviously love this. Do you do shows like this, or you basically stay at home on Shelby Street?
I'd really try hard to stay home, but I do shows every now and then. I'll be at the Flower and Patio show as well.
Yeah, cool. We lost our invitation there. They don't invite us back anymore. That's why we like suburban Indian on the north side here. Well, Dana, okay, is best way to find you? Do you have a website?
You can find me on social media. I prefer Facebook and Instagram.
All right.
So Serendipity Plants US.
Okay.
Or you can reach out to me via Messenger
Cool.
straight off of my website.
Thank you for joining us. Good luck to you. Shows like this, you're on your feet, pretty much 10, 12 hours a day. Don't forget to eat. Don't forget to drink. I'm your uncle. I guess I'm third cousin.
Third cousin,
Yeah,
twice
take
removed.
care of yourself, Dana, okay?
I appreciate it.
Thanks
Thank you so
for
much.
joining us a lot. All right, that was Dana Thompson. Is that cool stuff?
Very cool.
Just set it up and go out and
It's
sell
fun to talk
monkey tail
plant with
cactus.
somebody.
Terry, you really fell in love with that monkey tail.
I love the monkey tail. I've never seen one like it. I could just maybe they're everywhere and I just don't see them. But this one is just beautiful. The way it is growing out and beginning to cascade. And it's just a baby.
It will grow just about anywhere. It just needs a little bit of light. It can even be indirect light, but they're pretty healthy. Now, Jack, you don't like cactus. Why?
I like some cactus, just not with the small needles. I tend to.
Because they nail you, or because
I
they
tend to get a second. See, she's touching, and I
Yeah.
wouldn't even be rubbing.
Fuzzy.
These are soft.
It is soft.
A few
Yeah.
bad experiences kind of ruined it for me.
They're sort of stroking their cactus, and
We
it's
sure
making
are.
me nervous. I'm going to go back to the
Each monkey
poochkies.
tail.
The monkey tail. That's right. Hey, if you get a chance, try to get up here to the Suburban Indie Home and Outdoor Living Show. We're at Grand Park here in Westfield. The place is getting busy. There's 250 booths to choose from, and you ought to come up here and take a look. It's just a fun show. I noticed that my boys from U of I are here. Coming up in the 11 o'clock hour, we're going to talk to 7 guys who were just sitting around a restaurant one day, BWs, or B-dubs, and they said, why don't we buy a school bus and convert it into an RV?
what
And I'm
every
thinking,
17-year-old does.
I know, but they can't buy booze there if they're 17, so I don't know. But we're going to hear that story. They're all U of I students, and it is a great story. They've got social media, and we'll be able to point you in their direction. But they've got big plans for this school bus, and it ought to be a lot of fun. one of the kids grew up next to me. I'm afraid to tell his brothers and his friends there that I changed his diapers, but I did. This kid, here's the story. We had a big dog. We had a big Labrador. Remember Annie the Wonder Dog, Terry?
I do.
All right, Annie the Wonder Dog, in the wintertime, she'd go out and do her business, and it would freeze. Well, little Jack's growing up, and he comes over and he picks up this stuff. I said, take that home to your mama. It took his mother 3 weeks to talk to me again because I sent him home with some of frozen dog poop. He's a good kid, and so I refinished an RV bus. You should be right up there.
That's quite a story.
It is. It's a true story. That's it. It's the
something.
Home and Garden Show. Allison Lemons, Terry Stacy, Jack Phipps is sitting in for Pat Sullivan. Ethan is back in studio for us. But remember that we're brought to you by the Michaelis Corporation. It's water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. It's 844-FIX-INDY, and this is 93 WIBC. It's the Home and Garden Show. We haven't been able to take a lot of calls, but joining us on the Home and Garden Show right now is Julie. Hey, Julie, thank you for dialing in. Ethan's going to pull you up here, and we're going to be able to talk to you. Thanks for joining us, Ethan.
Hey, Danny. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
A small backyard that is really muddied up from a big dog. And then on top of that, a lot of creeping Charlie wants to live as king back here. So what do you think about me planting zoysia? I don't do chemicals.
Oh, golly, Julie, no. It's no. You don't want to get married to a gypsy, and that's what you're doing with zoysia. Now, Jack's here. He's the professional. But honest to goodness, don't
Charlie, and he's a creep.
I know. Bless your heart. Well, creeping Charlie is ground ivy, and there are pesticides we can use for that. The thing we got to do, Jack, is we got to get something established in there. How many dogs have you got?
2. Well, 1 most of the time, but I do doggy daycare, so there's generally at least 2 around.
Jack, I think this would be a good time for artificial turf.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, are they big dogs?
How big are your dogs?
70 pounds.
So I have one big dog, one small dog, and my big dog, regardless of the quality of my lawn, he seems to tear up through that grass and just keep getting some divots.
So do you have a lot of sunshine?
I do, but it still just retains too much water. I almost do think that, artificial turf, even in the main drags where maybe the dogs are going, could help.
Julie, you don't want to. I know you do. Bless your heart, but it's either that or you're going to have a straw pile back there for a long time. The only thing you can do to absorb the mud is basically make adobe back there with straw or some sort of dried vegetation to suck up the moisture in the mud. But those are. I tell you what, reach out to me at Denny at WIBC.com. I'll put you in touch with Jack. Denny at WIBC.com. I'll put you in touch with Jack, and Jack can give you some different ideas. But if you're doing doggy daycare and you've got 3 small Shetland ponies back there and that you're trying to call dogs, I'm afraid that you're going to fight a losing battle. But that's just my perspective of it. Okay.
Is it just? I mean, you hate zoysia. Why? I mean, I know it's not green all the time. But it's at least
all right, so here's what happens with zoysia. Zoysia comes to you in plugs, and as it grows, it sends off rhizomes off from its roots, and they just keep growing and growing and growing, and they expand to places you don't want them to expand to. So if you've got neighbors, they will hate your guts, Julie, because it will go from your yard to their yard. They won't know? Zoysia is.
Know.
I don't know. That's like a new tattoo. Everybody's going to find out. I mean,
it's in the backyard where there's a fence, and I'm going to be like, "What's going on back here?" I won't do it in the front yard. Like anyway, go ahead.
All right, Jack.
We'll come up with some other options for you. Keep that zoysia as a last resort.
That should be an absolute last resort. That's almost as bad as I've got an elbow. Yeah, I've got tennis elbow, and I'm going to chop off my arm. You don't want to go that drastic because it's unhealthy. It's almost like It's a wild invasive is what it is,
I'm
Jack.
surprised it's not on the invasive list.
Yeah,
in Indiana.
everything else is.
Okay.
Well, Julie, thanks for your
Okay.
phone call. Again, you reach out to
welcome.
me at Denny at WIBC.com. Denny at WIBC.com. I'll get you to Jack. He's the professional, and he'll let you know what's going on. Hey, we got some fun coming your way. My old next-door neighbor is a fellow by the name of Jack Scoggins. Jack is he runs track at U of I. He's a student at U of I. And I started following one of his websites where he and a bunch of buddies. Now, these buddies, I think they're all sober. I haven't given them the drug test just yet. But there's Daryl, there's Finn, there's Jack, there's Chase, Patrick, Jaden, and Rylan. They're here at the Suburban Indy Home and Patio show here, up here at Grand Park. They've stopped in. They've got a story to tell that if you've got an 18 to 22-year-old son, you're going to want him to do stuff like this. If I had another son, I'd want to put him on this crew, if nothing else, like a mascot. But they've got a fun story to tell us where they took a bus and they've turned it into an RV. Allison, what do you think of 6 guys that just sitting around B-dubs and all of a sudden they say, hey, let's buy a bus?
No, I love this idea. I'm excited for it.
You know, I'm anxious. I'm going to ask them what all they've learned because they're doing plumbing. Now, I don't know if they've got a bathroom or not, but they do have running water.
It depends on the bus. What kind of bus was it?
We're going to find out. It's like a school bus.
Because buses do have bathrooms in them already, but it's really cool what people are doing with buses. You know, the tailgating really started. I mean, some of the bigger tailgates you go to, or even here at the Colts, they bought buses.
Yeah.
You know, they've turned them into these fantastic areas for you to tailgate.
You know, we're going to hear what the
buses are
dream
really
was. First of
cool.
all, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
You know, what's the plan?
Sure.
And a couple of them are going to join us. Cam's got a big mic for us, so we might be able to get more than one on. But just 7 guys in the age of 7 to 19 years old, and they come up with this wild idea. And I've claimed one of them as one of my nephews. And you want to talk to...
Yeah, I think we have time to do the other caller if you want.
All right. So, Ethan, why don't you bring up our next caller? And I have a feeling I think it's Fulton, but I'm not sure. Hey, caller, who is
hello,
this?
good morning.
Fulton, we have about a minute, but what's new in your life, Fulton?
Well, nothing much. I was coming down to see you guys, but the snow's going to be coming soon. So.
Snow's coming. I thought that was just going to stop at Kokomo. Is it coming farther south in Howard County?
It said it might be icy today.
Yeah, it's going to snow a little bit, it looks like, but
oh, boy. All right, Fulton, have you chosen a Super Bowl team?
Let's see. I picked the Chiefs to win.
yeah, I think everyone's thinking the Chiefs are going to win, but you never know. You never know. So anything else going on, Fulton? Do you have any shows or games?
Well, we've got a game on February 24th. So we lost our game on, last Sunday? We lost big time. It was 44-18. Made a lot of rebounds, a lot of passes, and a lot of basketball shots.
Well, Fulton, thanks for your phone call. I always appreciate you calling.
I do have some other news for you.
Real quick, got 10 seconds.
Make sure you guys listen to the JMV Takeover.
That's right. We got JMV Takeover. Thanks, Fulton.
Fulton, thanks.
Got to get out of here.
Thanks for the phone call. We're on our way out. It's the Home and Garden Show. We are at the Suburban Indy Home and Outdoor Living Show. It's the Home and Garden Show. Pat Sullivan's on vacation. We've got an interesting interview with 7 guys from U of I right here on 93 WIBC.
Well, some folks say that grown-up men are still just little boys, that really the only difference is the price of our toys. We go for macho symbols like guns and running shoes, pickup trucks, hunting ducks, and power tools. Power tools.
93 WIBC, the Home and Garden Show is on the road today.
Yeah, you just plug them in the wall.
Home and Outdoor Living Show up in Westfield. In the Grand Park area, easy to get to. Take 31 all the way up to 191st Street. Go west about a mile and you'll see the place. You can come in from the north or the south. Joining us on the Home and Garden program is not Pat Sullivan. I've got Allison Lemons. I've got Terry Stacy. I've got Jack Phipps from Allison Jack, thanks for coming in.
Of
I
course.
really appreciate
Happy
you.
to be here.
So I got this feed on my Instagram, and all of a sudden I recognized that it was the young man that grew up next door to me when I lived in Chapel Glen there on the west side. And I saw Jack Scoggins, and I thought, what in the world is this? And so I started asking questions of Jack, and I called his father, and I said, first of all, is Jack okay? Has he been arrested, abducted? Is this a cult? I didn't know what it was. And he said that there were 7 boys, or 7 young men, who were sitting around B-dubs. And, Jack, I'll let you take it from there. Just sitting around B-dubs, minding your own business. And what happened?
Yeah. So, the way the story goes is a few months ago, me and my buddies, we were just at B-dubs. It was a weeknight. We just got back from school. We had school the next day. And we're getting some wings. And my buddy says, guys, what if we turn a bus into an RV? And at first we were like, oh, wow, that's a weird idea. But then immediately one of us grabbed our notebook from school and we just started sketching up just the most elementary looking drawing of what we might think the inside of the bus would look like. The waiters stopping by.
So there were 7 boys. There's Jack, my buddy Jack. There was Daryl, Finn, Chase, Patrick, Jaden, and Rylan. And Finn and Patrick are also here with you. All right, so Daryl, I'm going to turn it over to you. What happened from there?
So it took us a while to buy the bus because we had to look through, there was a ton of options. I know we looked through one option first. It was an older Chevy bus, I think 80s. That was a questionable choice that we decided to pass up on. And then we got super lucky. We were scrolling through Facebook Marketplace with Finn around the start of November, and we saw this bus down in Greenwood. It was listed for $3,000. We talked the guy down to $2,500.
What type of bus was it?
It's a 40-foot 2004 International bus. So it seats 72 people.
So was it a school bus?
Yeah, it's a school bus.
All right. So you guys then decided to gut it and start working on it?
We got lucky. The guy that we bought it from, he already gutted the bus, and he already took all the seats out. There was already wood flooring down. So he saved us a lot of the work that we'd have to do taking it apart. All we really had to do was pay him the money and pick it up.
All right, so Jack, you got 7 guys. Are any of them a mechanic?
Our closest mechanic is Daryl right here. So Daryl's got the most car experience.
Any professional experience?
I have glorified YouTube experience.
Yeah. You can learn so much from YouTube, can't you?
You can.
If you've just turned in, 7 guys at the University of Indianapolis, all sober. They were at B-dubs. And all of a sudden, they decide they want to buy a bus and convert it. So what's the plan? We'll ask you more about the conversion. So what's the plan? Daryl, what are you going to do with this rascal?
The goal is to take a massive road trip out over the summer. We're going to try and hit as many national parks as we can all around the U.S. Pretty much just a huge loop out west, Pacific Northwest. I know we want to check out the Grand Canyon, too. But pretty much anything, honestly. Anything we find fun. Festivals, parties, different... If organizations want to check us out.
All right. So are you going to take some practice runs? I mean, if you all of a sudden you're going to go on a 3,000-mile road trip, has anybody told you that? Are there any special licensing? Do you have to get a commercial driver's license? Do you got to get, but are you going to make some fun runs just to make sure the thing doesn't break down?
A couple day trips, maybe.
Oh, yeah, 100%. So we're going to take some day trips. We've got a spring break test trip somewhere up to Michigan, I believe. So maybe kind of a shorter road trip just to see how the bus handles kind of like a longer interstate.
You almost have to.
Yeah,
really.
Of course.
Yeah. Is it gas or is it diesel?
Diesel.
It's diesel. All right. So you understand diesel's different. Don't take this trip in the wintertime. That's all I will say.
Yeah.
Don't forget your additives. Now, do you have to do the additives for the environment? It's an older bus. You probably don't have any of that stuff.
Nope.
That's cool.
It's pre-emissions.
Free emissions. All right. So what about the electronics? I saw some video of somebody fixing a sending unit for oil pressure or something. Who does all the electronics?
Right now, the electronics wiring-wise, that's kind of Finn's job. But the sending unit that you were talking about, that was for the fuel. That was 100%. That was the first thing we replaced because the fuel gauge didn't work on the bus.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it was actually a 2-part job. The first part was replacing the sending unit, which was we'd had to get down into the fuel tank, take out the old one, which is kind of just a bobber that sits and tells you the level of the fuel. And the second part was soldering all the connections on the actual dash, which was also an interesting job.
Soldering connections with 50-50 solder is a very delicate procedure. How many boards did you go through? Did you screw it up?
No, I didn't screw it up.
You didn't screw it up.
Actually, it works. It works.
Don't be afraid to wear old people's magnifying glasses. Okay.
working
Here
on
we
it
go.
now, yeah.
I see him doing it. And you can find you guys on Instagram at Schooly Build at Project Bus with 2 S's.
Yep.
Yes.
And Allison said she would post on the Facebook how to get in contact with them. Check out their Instagram.
All right. So how far along are you, Jack? How far along are you right now?
So the last thing that we've done so far, we just finished the plumbing system. So we've got a freshwater tank going to a sink, and it's running water, runs on an electric pump that is attached to the battery.
I saw that video. What about a holding tank? If you guys are going to be on a bus, you're going to have to poop, you're going to have to pee. What have you got for a holding tank?
Actually, at the moment, we don't have a toilet in there. That's something that we're going to be working on later on. Right now, the only tank that we're still working on putting in is the gray water tank because the only plumbing we have set up is for the sink that we have in the bus.
Got it. So. All right, so you can tow a little trailer with a porta-john on the back, if you have to do that.
Yeah, if we have to,
if they
pull
need.
up.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen composting toilets? Have you explored that?
Yeah,
Sunmar makes one that I installed for a buddy up in French River where there's just no plumbing. Everything is just, almost prehistoric up there. But what you do is you do your business, and it's got a crank with peat moss in it, and peat moss with a little bit of biologicals in it, and it dissolves your feces. Mm-hmm. So look into that. They're kind of pricey. You might want to just stop at the truck stop. But
yeah, that's our temporary plan right now. Yeah.
So how far along are you? Daryl, what's the condition of the bus right now?
I'd say we're about 3/4 of the way done. Majority of the stuff that we have to finish is on the inside. It's just finishing the beds, finishing the couch that we have, and pretty much cosmetic. Other than that, I mean, we're ready to go.
The bus is functional.
Yeah.
Drive no problems.
All right, so listen to your Uncle Denny and your Uncle Jack. You're all under 21. Don't get sucked into booze or drugs on this trip. Wait till you get back home and mess around where your parents or somebody, your Uncle Denny, can bail you out of jail. When you're on the traveling, you're going to be, everybody's going to go watching you like a hawk. Like, who are these 7 clowns coming through our town? Behave yourselves, be good guys, get back to U of I all in one piece. But, man, will you keep us posted on this?
Oh, yeah, of course.
100%.
Jack, it sort of sounds like fun. I'd have liked to have done that when I was 17 and 19 years old.
In high school, I wish I would have had that ambition.
Yeah.
I guess one friend to drive that ambition, but...
Yeah, who's going to drive the bus? All of you?
Yeah, the goal is to have everybody learn to drive the bus because, I mean, with a 3,000-mile road trip, you can't really have one person driving the entire time. It's slightly unrealistic. But majority of the driving is probably going to be done by me.
All right. Here's the thing. I've got a farm. I got 23 acres, and I've got a lot of driveway. And there are great places to practice your backing up and stuff. Your Jack, your dad, Todd, will tell you how to get to us. Bring everybody up. We'll take pictures, but we'll watch you back up. We'll set up cones. You need to practice backing up, and you need to practice backing up around corners, okay? Because you're basically going to be school bus drivers, except you don't have any kids to yell at. Okay. Any sponsorships? Are you accepting sponsorships?
Yeah. So we're constantly talking to people, reaching out and looking for any sponsorships we can get. We've had a few people that we've been talking to that might be interested. But we're always appreciative and looking for sponsors.
What do you offer a sponsor? You're going to give them posting on your web? Have you got a website or your social media? Can you make them famous?
Yeah, well, we'll try our best. So our social media, we're offering any type of equipment or parts or whatnot. We'd be more than happy to post us installing it and
you can stop by and demonstrate your bus to other worthy groups.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Fun. Well, let me make sure I got the names all right. My buddy Jack Scoggins, we've got Daryl.
Yep.
I finally got you right. Daryl, Finn is in the back. Patrick, who grew up in my old neighborhood where Jane and I first built our house. And I always made fun of his dad because his dad had 2 first names. And, of course, here's Patrick. Patrick's got 2 first names, too. Is that funny? Oh, gosh, I make myself laugh. Chase, Patrick, Jaden, and Rylan, guys, we wish you the very, very best. Will you keep us posted?
Oh, of course.
All right, and Jack, you got my email address, denny@wibc.com. You keep us posted.
Yep. Thanks for having us.
Be safe. No booze, no drugs on the trip. Deal with that when you get back if you're going to be that stupid. But you be safe out there, okay?
Have fun.
But God, good to have you.
Thank you for having us.
Is that a great story, Jack,
That's
or what?
so cool.
Oh, my gosh. All right, the Home and Garden Show. When we come back, Danelle's going to join us. She is the owner of this fine show. It'll be good to see her. And you're listening to the Home and Garden Show right here on 93 WIBC. Well, the Home and Garden Show is at the Suburban Indy Home and Outdoor Living Show. They do 3 shows a year. This is the biggest one that I have seen. We got 250 booths. It is a lot of fun, and Home and Garden is there. Pat's on vacation. Allison Lemon is here and keeping us all straight. Terry Stacy, Jack Phipps, Ethan Patterson's back in studio. And I tell you what, you all know that we're brought to you by the Michaelis Corporation. You can always reach them at 844-FIX-INDY. Joining us now is the visionary for this show and the other two. Danelle, how are you?
I'm great. I've been called a lot of things, but a visionary is not one of them.
Oh, girl.
So I'm going to add that to my list.
Well, you knew Terry from the State Fair.
I did the shows I used to produce there.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden
show,
COVID came along.
Yeah.
And you had to get creative real quick.
Here at Grand Park I did, and luckily this is going into the 9th year of Suburban Indie shows. And I think it was 3 years in when COVID hit. Yeah. And luckily, I was in Hamilton County at a smaller venue, and the health department was like, "What do you want to do?
Yeah.
How can we work with you?" And I'm like,
Which
"You
is
tell
so
me what
unusual.
I need to do."
Exactly.
And we did. I mean, the exhibitor base it was about half of what we had normally had, but it's amazing. Those were our best attendance years because people had nothing else to do.
Oh, I guess that would be
we
true.
were the only thing open.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
And you're so wide. I mean, everything is such wide. What I love about this show is that the aisles are giant and there's room to maneuver.
Yeah.
And you don't, some people move pretty slow. So you can get around and you've made this very friendly for attendees.
This facility has just been a godsend for me because whenever the shows that I used to produce were sold, I didn't sell them. I didn't get anything. I was out of a job. Grand Park had just opened, and I called and I said, "Hey, have you ever thought about bringing consumer shows to your new facility?"
You are a gutsy woman. You just picked up the phone and said,
"I didn't want to find another job. Let's be honest. I love what I do, and I just wanted to be able to do it for me and my family instead of for somebody else." And I mean, Westfield, and we've seen where Westfield has been in the last 20 years, and in the past 10 years.
Do you know what you've got here? Terry brings it up every time. Free parking.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. What a difference.
It's unheard of.
I know. I talk about it too much, though. I know they're going to.
You're going to knock on wood. Just knock on wood.
They keep telling me the logistics just don't work for them to charge for parking, and I'm like, okay.
Good. You can thank the architects and the designers for not making it possible because they screwed it all up and made it perfect.
It is. This is a great facility.
Well, you've also got quite a story, and I don't want to get away from this.
It's okay.
8 years ago, you donated a kidney to your husband.
I did.
I asked my wife if she'd donate a kidney to me if I needed one. She just sort of looked at me like, "Where the hell is this going?" But let's tell that story.
That's a question you should ask.
Yeah, let's tell that story because.
Okay, so it was. Actually almost 12 years ago now. So we had met, we were together for about 6 months. I knew he had polycystic kidney disease. And I said, I'll go get tested, to see if we're a match.
Don't tell me you were a match.
I went through the testing and we were a match.
That's incredible.
Is incredible because that doesn't always happen, right?
It does not. But we have the same blood type. And what they do literally is they took some of his blood, some of my blood, put it in a petri dish, and as long as it got along, we were good. Wow. And they can regulate the rest with medication.
Wow.
So it's a lot easier now than it used to be years ago.
That is really
before
cool.
They had all the medication. So it lasted 11 years, and then last February, right after this show last year, we had to go to the ER because that kidney was failing.
Did he blame it on you?
So he did not.
He didn't blame it on the show?
He's smart enough. He's still alive, isn't he?
Yeah. Yes, he is.
Yeah. So then he was back on dialysis after the show last February, and then he's been back and forth. So he is, quote unquote, retired at this point. So
I have a question.
Yes.
You donate a kidney.
Yep.
If it fails in somebody else's body, can you get your kidney back through another?
No.
You cannot.
You cannot recover it. No.
Okay.
But you're good with one kidney.
Not. Yeah, I haven't had any issues. I tell people all the time, if you are in relatively good health, and you've always wanted to do it, just do it. I was in the hospital for 2 days.
Did you get
a big deal.
Do you have a good scar? Is it on your back?
No, it's like it's almost
laparoscopic.
It's laparoscopic, but they pull it out. They make an incision like if you had a C-section.
Yeah.
So it's like below the bikini line, and you can't even see it. I mean, it's gone
Well,
now.
you've got that over him forever.
But,
you can say, "I gave you my kidney."
Yeah, I had to talked to a psychologist who told me I wasn't allowed to do that before I could donate. You have to go through a lot of, it's like a 6-month process, and you have to talk to a social worker and a psychologist to make sure that you're of sound mind and body.
So you're saying that Terry and I would not pass this? We couldn't donate a kidney.
Trust me, I passed.
Yeah.
Donors are pretty special.
Wide open.
I mean, really,
So.
we talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, feature those that have done just what you've done.
Well, towards the end, towards the time of the date of our surgery, he said, I don't know that I want you to do this. I'm worried for you. And I said, listen, I've been through this process. Somebody's getting this kidney. It can be you or it's going to be a stranger.
You're ready to go.
Good for you.
And he said, all right, I guess I'll take it.
You know, you really ought to go in sales. That's a pretty good close right
I've
there.
been selling since I was 17 years old. Are you kidding me?
Well, the lovely Donnell, the visionary behind the Suburban Outdoor Living shows, is here. This is your biggest show. Now, you've got two other shows.
Yes, yeah. So the spring show is the biggest show of the year. We maxed out this year. I have nowhere else to go. I mean,
well, you can't get into the soccer field.
Just better. I cannot.
Yeah.
Not unless they can get some more flooring, because there's a flooring that we put down that goes over this turf. So if they invest in more of that, then we can grow the show. And then we have this same show in the fall, and then the holiday show in November. So yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Donnell,
it's all good.
You're a very special human being.
Oh,
you're
you
a
are
good.
so sweet.
No, I'm not. I put up with Sullivan. But listen.
True.
You've set a standard that most people don't know if they could do it. How did you get your arms around that? Look, I'm giving up a kidney. Was it just really matter of fact? You made the decision.
Yeah.
Or did you labor on it?
No, my one of my nieces and my sister always say I don't really think things through. I'm not good at thinking long term. I may.
Yeah.
Now, make the decision now, make the changes now, and worry about it later.
But intuitively, you knew it was the right thing to do.
Well, sure.
He needed a kidney.
So my dad my dad donated bone marrow. My parents were always plasma donors. My mother is a nurse by trade. My father has since passed from Alzheimer's. But I think it's just growing up with a family of givers and doers. I mean, you just don't think twice. Right? I mean,
you don't know any different.
Real quick, where would you refer somebody if they were interested in this? Is there a place people go? Is it?
Well, I think just the Indiana Donor Network is a good place to start. Yeah.
Donnell, thanks for joining us. First of all, thanks for doing this for Hamilton County.
Yeah. Well, and I need to say thank you to my incredible staff, because we were talking about my husband, husband. At this point,
he's a pretty significant other.
He was in the ICU last week because he had flu that turned into sepsis and pneumonia. And my staff stepped up, and
they're perfect.
I just literally walked in. This is the first time I've been to the show since we opened yesterday.
They did a great job. They did a great job.
All right, so get your $10 tickets at the door. You can get $7 a head at suburbanindieshows.com/spring. But just do a Google search. You'll find them. We're at Grand Parks Event Center in Westfield. Come on out and see us. 250 booths that are just everything you want to see this time of year.
Everything.
And it's a crummy day. Come on out.
And come see me if you want to talk about organ donation, too.
That works. The office is on the south
my
side.
My phone number's on everything.
All right. It's the Home and Garden Show brought to you by the Michaelis Corporation. Water storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. It's 844-FIX-INDY right here on 93 WIBC. Oh, looky here. We got Mr. Michaelis himself. Can we bring him up? There we go. Hey, Richard, how are you?
Morning, everybody. How we doing?
We're doing good. I was just bragging on you. I saw that a car drove into a house on 42nd Street last night. What do you do when somebody drives into your house? How do you mitigate something? What do you do?
Yeah, so that's a horrible situation. We weren't involved in it, but I understand 2 people lost their lives. So that's just a bad situation. But generally, I mean, we're trying to stabilize the building, and then we're trying to, go to the next level and put together some type of repair estimate to rebuild the home. But in this situation you're talking about, it's just bad because I think I read 2 people lost their lives, and they don't understand that. I don't understand what happened, but it's a horrible situation.
It's a horrible situation, but that's not the only thing you guys help with. You help with water. You help with trees falling on houses. You help with fires. Have you got fires going right now?
Yeah, so we're busy. All services are busy, and we're busy helping your listeners. This is fire season, so a lot of accidents are happening right now, and it appears a great deal of them are just accidents like cooking on stoves and kitchens, walking away or whatever. But then there's also situations where, the frozen pipes and the water leaks. We've been busy with all that because of the weather. But all services are busy. So our basement waterproofing is busy. Once that you have a water loss, if it's not related to like freezing and there's some inherent problem or design flaw with the building or the home, then we may, help out with a basement waterproofing system or really just a water management system with a French drain system or some pumps, things like that. We're busy with remodeling. Right now, a lot of the clients are interested in the maybe upgrading their kitchen and bathroom, so we're busy with that. But generally, it's calamity. You know that, Denny. We're just busy when the weather gets inclement and when the snow and the ice start hitting in the winter.
Richard from Michaelis Corporation has joined us. And, Richard, I got to tell you, the times that I have referred people to you, I have heard nothing but wonderful things. My neighbor across the street, you did a remodel and helped put in a garage over a garage or a place over a garage. It's so nice as somebody who refers people to know that they're going to be in safe hands, and you can be so very proud of each and every one of your team. It's really incredible what you've done, Richard.
So I am. I'm very proud of our team, and especially with all the hard work with the last couple of weeks of the freeze and just the overtime and the amount of effort everybody's been doing. And Danny, I truly appreciate you and Pat believing in our firm. So we're never hoping to ever let anybody down. We're not perfect. We're going to have a mistake here and there, but it's what we do once we have a little hiccup to make things right and give back to the community and support this great city of Indianapolis that we all love.
That's the best that we can hope for. And I tell you what, nobody ever wants to have a flood. Nobody ever wants to have a fire. Nobody ever wants to have a disaster. But there is no question, Richard, that you guys are the right people. It's not so much finding the right people as is being the right people. And you certainly are that. It's the Michaelis Corporation. Thanks for joining me, Richard.
Thank you, Denny.
It's always good to have. It's the Michaelis Corporation. The show is brought to you by them. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. You can always reach them at 844-FIX-INDY. We're at the Indy Suburban Home and Outdoor Living Show. The Home and Garden Show is on the road. Pat Sullivan isn't with us. He's taken a well-deserved vacation. But I still have Allison Lemons, Terry Stacy, Jack Phipps. Jack, thanks for joining us.
Of course.
We haven't been able to do a whole lot of home and garden because Terry Stacy goes out and starts grubbing up people. And next thing I know, she's got this beautiful lady that's it's a trash lady.
She is one of my favorite people.
She's
the trash lady.
She's a trashy lady.
More junk. She's more the junk lady.
Okay.
Funky Junk Dumpsters. And this is Brandy Price. We're so glad to see you, Brandy.
Glad to be here. Glad to be back. Yeah.
Funky Junk Dumpsters. Tell everybody what it is.
Okay, so we are a boutique residential dumpster company.
That means you have pretty dumpsters?
We have pretty dumpsters. We keep them clean and sparkly. That way that when they're in your driveway, we're honoring your property.
Tell them how much junk we have as a person.
Oh my goodness. So and we have conversations all day here at the home show as well, but the average, like the national average for the United States is the average American homeowner has over 300,000 items. That's the national stat.
What are you counting, toothpicks?
You're talking about like individual toilet paper rolls, forks, spoons, knives. You're talking everything, right? Whatever's hiding in the attic, whatever's hiding in the garage, whatever's in the basement that you haven't seen in 20 years. So, but the other average that they release, though, at the same time, is that we only use 40,000 items. So that means, like, on average, as a homeowner, we have 260,000 just in casers, which is just.
Just in case.
Just in case.
I'm that
I might
guy.
need that.
You should see my barn. Just in case I need that tool,
I used to be, and then I became the trash lady, and I'm like, whoa, we don't need all this stuff.
All right, so the problem is many people think that dumpsters are 40-yard. They have to come on and they're just huge. Tell us about your dumpsters.
So we cater to the residential market. So we're using smaller platform trucks. Think something small like an F-350, single axle. And we have 7 different sizes, and we use driveway protection with everything. It's included with every rental. So we have plastic patented feet or skid plates that are underneath our dumpsters.
Patented feet? You patented your feet?
Well, yeah.
That's pretty
so
cool.
we are
She
the
cares.
original driveway-friendly solution. So we were remodeling our home several years ago, and we're back into that again because we were remodeling initially because we're like, we're going to flip it. And we didn't. We're still there. But now we're like, we didn't use finishes that we would have wanted to, but we had larger dumpsters that would fill up the driveway.
When Terry Lynn finally sells her house, she wants to move out to the country. She wants to get away from everything. All right.
Yes.
So how does she know how big of a dumpster she needs?
She lets us know what she has, and we help her out. We answer the phones, and we talk through everybody's projects with them. They can also order online if they want to. We have all our pricing is on there, dimensions, pictures. But we have hundreds of conversations each week going through, like, what do you have? And then we recommend the right size for him.
Terry, are you ready to let go of stuff?
Well, your philosophy on letting go. I think we've talked about this. Your philosophy on what to let go of.
Yeah.
And how to do it.
Yeah, it's when you're looking at your life, you're going through from season to season.
I'm not going to make eye contact
like
with her.
Spring,
She's
I'll look
talking
the other
to my
direction.
soul.
I'll
look at me.
Yeah. We'll just have a conversation here. So when you're looking at those items, what do you actually need to function in the next season? And chances are you have a lot of things that you don't actually need going into the next season of life. So if that's retirement, if that's like having a baby, whatever that next season is, there's usually things that go by the wayside. Now, a lot of those items are good and usable, and they can go to an organization, a local organization, and fill a need. But a lot of those items end up being trash.
She's also very good at recommending where some of these, where you didn't even know, some of these great places that you can take the donations.
Right. Yeah. So we have a list of 84 separate places that we recommend.
Really?
Someone calls and they're like, I just moved. I'm getting ready to move, and I've got a lot of different furniture that's good, usable. I don't want it to go into a dumpster. Who do I call? And it's like, well, you can call Mustard Seed and Fishers, and they're a furniture bank.
Yeah.
It's a furniture bank for people who've lost their home due to fire or incarceration.
What about Grandma B's sewing machine?
Oh my
the old
goodness!
treadle
So Grandma
sewing machine.
B's sewing machine.
Yeah.
If you have memories that are attached to that, then you can keep it. If you're are you
My
going
memory
to
is that it's
use
so
it?
damn heavy. I had to lift it down in the basement. I have to lift it back out, but I'm
Okay.
only doing it one more time,
So
Brandy.
when you look at that sewing machine, are you thinking, wow, that was are you thinking, wow, my grandma used to use this and I love this? Or are you thinking,
That's guilt.
wow, I keep carrying it around
I
everywhere?
keep carrying it around, but I feel guilty if I want to get rid of it.
When you look at it, that's what you're seeing instead. So that's called obligatory clutter. It's something that we feel like, no, literally, that's what it's called.
She's got great names.
It's
That's my
obligatory clutter.
basement.
Like you feel obligated to keep it because it's a family heirloom.
Yeah.
Which
Okay.
the next generation really they don't want any of that stuff.
It's so true. So my grandpa passed away this past year, and we cleaned out his entire house in Martinsville. And it has been, he was one of those Great Depression kids, God bless, and where they like to keep everything.
Yeah,
and
just
so
in
my
case.
parents, just in case. So my parents have now called what they're doing to their own home the death purge. Well, they are getting rid of things they don't want.
And those are real words.
And by they, I mean my mom. So the first thing, though, we kind of run into is it's very overwhelming. Like you said, you start realizing how much stuff you have. So what would be your tip? And if you're just overwhelmed with decluttering to begin with?
Yeah, if you're overwhelmed, we usually say start small. Start with maybe one room. And that's where what I usually recommend is going through one room at a time. So we usually, if someone's like, I have a huge, massive project, we need to get rid of a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
We start them with a smaller dumpster, and then it always becomes easier to get rid of the other things or get the big pieces of furniture out of the way first so you can see clearly what you actually have.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it is overwhelming, especially when there's a lot of sentimental items that are a part of what you're wanting to actually get rid of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to your point, too, there's so many big things like furniture pieces that you don't know what to do with. And you don't know whether to put them on the side of the road or sell them on Facebook Marketplace, deal with all of that crap.
Right.
So that's great that you guys have a whole resource on your website as well.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah,
great.
and
What is the
love it.
website?
So funkyjunkdumpsters.com, and you can also give us a call to if it's at 317-743-3865.
Okay.
But you can give us a call and we can help you walk through your projects and walk through things strategically.
And here at the show, she's right in
Yep.
the back. She's next to the pickles.
Yes, next to the pickles.
Next to
On
the
the other
pickles.
side, pickles adjacent.
Brandy Price, she and her husband, and the owners of Funky Junk Dumpsters.
Thank you, Brandy.
Thank you, Brandy. You're so good.
All right,
Thank you.
it's the Home and Garden Show. We'll be coming back. We won't have the speed round, but we're sure going to make people happy. So keep it listening here, right here on 93. Here,
we're leaving.
We're
done early today.
Not quite. The Suburban Indie Home and Outdoor Living Show goes on till 7 o'clock tonight. It's open tomorrow from 10 to 4, and Terry Lynn, tomorrow is for the kids. They've got some great opportunities for children.
Yeah, they've got all kinds of things for kids to do, activities, magicians, princesses, dinosaurs.
Magician.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a fun day for the kids.
Balloons.
And something fun for you to do on a Sunday before the Super Bowl.
That's exactly right.
But IU is next to Denny's point.
Yeah, they're playing Michigan, and ought to be an interesting two IU alums in the coaching seats there for Michigan and for IU. So it'll be interesting to see how that does. Hey, I want to give out a thank you also to the background team here, Kevin and Kelvin, and Kevin, and then Cam's over on the board. And he really set up some things for us, for those boys on the bus, and I really appreciate all the help. There's always somebody behind the scenes. Of course, Ethan's back in the studio trying to decide whether or not he wants to stay with the show because we're always gone. And we love
This is the first time we've been out in a while.
Yeah.
It's been nice.
Kind of nice.
Really busy. A lot of great people. Serendipity Plants, the Schoolie Build boys, Donnell, just everybody. Funky Junk. Thank you, everyone, for coming out.
Yeah. And we want to say thank you to the Speed Round sponsor.
Yes, Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. They have great pricing on a Lazy Boy, Indiana-made Smith Brothers furniture, mattresses made in Indiana, and maintenance-free outdoor furniture. And they're also free delivery up to 75 miles.
That's a lot.
ThompsonFurniture.net.
75
Spencer,
miles.
Nick, the whole crew up there. Great people. Great people.
75 miles takes you all the way to the north side of Hamilton County and takes you all the way down into Bloomington. So it might even get out to Greenfield where you are.
Oh, good.
Close to you. Well, Terry Lynn, what's coming up tomorrow? We got just a minute here.
Tomorrow on the first day, we'll get you set for the Super Bowl and more, too. We're going to talk about, as we said, with Scholarship Owl and find out exactly what kids are doing, if it's legal to actually use AI to fill out your paperwork for your admittance or for your essay, whatever it is as you try to head into college. We'll talk about that. And the Doomsday Clock.
The Doomsday Clock.
Yeah.
Oh,
The Doomsday Clock came out,
Ooh.
and we'll talk to one of those that sets the hands of the clock.
Wow.
Oh, that's kind of scary. That's
Yeah, Jack Phipps from Allisonville. Thanks for always being in here.
Of course, happy
really,
to be here.
we enjoy you more than we do Pat. I mean, I will say that right out loud.
Equal.
Equal.
Well, so, okay, 51-49.
I do enjoy
I'm for
my
Jack.
job. It's equal.
Yeah. And hopefully we won't compromise your job.
No.
Hey, if you've got questions, send them out to me, Denny at WIBC.com. If you've got some ideas that you think ought to be on air, reach out to Terry at WIBC.com. But in the meantime, you stay tuned for the IU and Michigan game. It's 93 WIBC.